right, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. What got a big turnout here so far. Whew. I can't tell if I look like uh, Michael Myers or a Jabberwocky. It's a shame I even know what a Jabberwocky is. All right, a lot of big production went into this. I'm fixing my camera a little bit. Whew. All right. Welcome to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. Let's fix this camera. Jeez. Oh, hold on. I know you guys paid a lot of money to be here, but we want to get it all right. All right, we're going to have a good time today. In just a minute, Johnny Monaco will be joining us. I'm sure he will have his Halloween costume on. I have my candy corn in my Frankenstein holder. No Halloween special is complete without candy corn. So I have that, and I'll be having a beverage in my Frankenstein geeky tiki. That's what this is called, I believe. I'll be drinking of that, and we're gonna have a good time. And since the collector is moderating tonight as usual, and he is reminding to welcome all of you foolish mortals. Let's say happy Halloween to a few people before we get the show started. I should point out we're going to talk about some of my favorite Halloween music and movies and costumes, but we're also going to talk about yours. So we're going to open the discussion up. This is really a Halloween party for those of us who maybe didn't get invited to a Halloween party, who are lonely. This was sort of a last second thing. I think they call it a FOMO. You have the fear of missing out, and that's the story of my life. I feel like, you want to reminisce about times when you were young and parties and things that you went to, and then you get older and you start to not care so much. But today, we're going to have some fun. I apologize for this shoddy camera work. My cinematographer is on strike. All right, hold on. Okay, so let's see who's here first, and then we'll get into the party. Let's see. Uh-oh. I am wearing a glucose monitor that I tried to turn off, but it is making this horrible noise. And of course, Johnny is not here yet to help us with this. I don't know how to get it to go off. Oh, jeez. All right, hold on. We better do a please stand by. Hold on, don't go anywhere. Oh, it went away on its own. I'm probably dying. If I had to do that somewhere, I'd be happy to do it here with the millions and millions of viewers. Okay, so Charlie's here. TCR 44. I think that's a George Lucas movie. Indie Cult 777, welcome. Dawn, welcome. Mike K, happy Halloween to you as well. Grimrock, right on. Happy Halloween to you as well. Charlie, hello everyone. TCR wants to talk about Wasp. We can do that. Dawn wants to know how I am. I'm here. That's a good thing, right? I think that's a good thing. Craig saying, good evening to everybody. Glad he's here. And Monica, Green Arizona, glad I am fully recovered, or asking if I'm fully recovered. I wouldn't say I'm fully recovered, but I'm getting there. Keith, happy Halloween from Southern Maryland. We were in Maryland not too long ago. Hello from Connecticut. We'll be back in Connecticut. I don't know if that's official, but I'm going to say it right here. I don't lose my job. Stephen Piercy Band will be returning to Connecticut soon. No more days to Halloween. Halloween, Silver Shamrock. I agree. And Tina has got a virtual hug. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. And Tina's saying I'm looking good. JB says they're late, but Halloween 3 rules. We're going to discuss Halloween 3. I've given Halloween 3 a whole new thought process. After all these years, I hated it. Coffee enthusiasts, hello. Well, hello to you. We're going to bring a coffee enthusiast on in a minute. I apologize for the way I say coffee. I'm from a place called New York. And a happy Sam Hain from The Dreamer's Life. Johnny's wishing us a happy Halloween. Johnny Davis, that is. Tina representing Texas in the house. Randy Martin is here. Susie Robertson, love the last minute Halloween get together. Susie, well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. This definitely is a last second thing. When you're, this is like a Lonely Hearts party. Jersey's in the house. Charlie S. And look, Dash Rip Rock. I apologize. Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Connecticut. And then a happy Halloween from Joseph. So happy Halloween to everybody. Like I said, as the party gets going, we're going to talk about some of my favorite Halloween movies and music. I got to figure out this angle. This is just driving me crazy. And then also talk about costumes we wore growing up or now. And some of us might be wearing costumes tonight. You saw mine a little bit earlier, but I have a few changes I can make. Yes, Johnny Davis, I agree. This is the best Halloween party ever. And so just trying to get to everyone. Congratulations on my recovery, The Dreamer's Life. So I'll get that out of the way fast. As many of you know, I had skin cancer surgery on my nose, and I guess you can see that. So we can get that out of the way. You can see the scars from my nose. There's a filter on this camera that makes it look a little better than it is. But you know what? I thought about what I wanted to do or cover it up. Or last time I did my live show, I had the bandages on. I felt like, I'm proud, as they tell me, that I'm cancer free. So why not? Why not? It's a scar. Everyone's going to have them at some point in their life. Some will be worse than others. And so anyway, it's there. So anyway, it's it's there. It's not a miserable negative thing. But speaking of miserable negative things, let's welcome Johnny Monaco. Johnny, happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
So
we are.
Here we are. Yeah. So I got to turn this monitor off in a minute. I'm wearing, Johnny, I got fitted for a new glucose monitor. I'm wearing it right there. It's a smaller one, as you can see.
I hear that.
But it sends off these horrific things constantly. And I'm going to try to turn the damn thing off without ripping it out of my arm. Yeah, I think it's some kind of evil thing that the Silver Shamrock Company has inserted in my arm to brainwash me. Johnny, the way this came about, I always say I want to do a Halloween party online or do those kind of things, and I have all these great ideas, and then I get tired and I go to sleep, or I get depressed, and I feel like, I spent my day at doctor's appointments, and then I went to this place with Sin City Collector Jay. We went to vote. A lot of the kids now are doing this thing called voting, or not, but I went to vote, and it turns out that they had this little Halloween trick or treat. All the stores were letting the kids trick or treat, and there was a lot of people dressed in skanky costumes and things. And I felt like maybe, just maybe, I was part of Halloween. And then I came home and realized, I have no life. I'm miserable. Things like that. No one's trick or treating or anything else. And then you called, Johnny, and you and I had such a positive, uplifting talk. It sounded like we were going to join the Heaven's Gate cult. And then I said, Johnny, why are we talking to each other for free when we could go on the internet and go on the YouTube and let millions and millions of other people hear about our misery and those type of things. And so I think this is a fun idea, Johnny. Johnny, I find you're a lot like me. I think you're nostalgic for the past and for holidays past and things we did when we were younger. And then you get older and you sort of say, what the hell happened? And also, Johnny, we probably both have more Halloweens behind us than we have ahead of us. There's a good chance. And so, so since we're talking about our early demise, what better thing to do than to have this virtual Halloween party? A lot of people saying hello to Johnny. Charlie's saying hello to Johnny. Mark Sanchez is here wishing us a happy Halloween. Joseph wishes you a happy Halloween. Jeff as well. And No Music, No Life is glad I'm back and watching from Japan. How great is that? And saw a video of Halloween 3 filmed, a Grim Life Collective channel, which is a great YouTube channel. We'll talk about that in a bit. But we've got, listen to this. Herman Cacho is watching from Peru. Johnny, have you been to Peru?
I want to say no. Maybe close though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Johnny, people are happy that we're here. I bet you there's a lot of people who are displaced and lonely on this occasion. So, Johnny, tell me what Halloween has meant to you in your life.
Well, you know, when you're little, I think it's for the kids. Although there's been a really big all the rage with adults having Halloween parties. I find it more for the children.
Wu-Tang is for the children as well.
You know, over the years, you know, growing up, Halloween, you do the standard stuff. Nowadays, it's a lot different. It all changed when they started finding razor blades in the candy bars.
Yes, I remember that as well. That probably was late 70s, early 80s, when that became all the rage. And we had to be scared. So, Johnny, when you grew up in Illinois, right?
Yeah.
What part of Illinois did you grow up in?
Northwest suburbs.
Yeah. And how far is that from, say, Chicago?
You know, like maybe 50 minutes to drive downtown. So like out in the suburbs.
Right. So you had a nice suburban life. Did you go trick-or-treating?
Yeah. You know, like everybody. I'm sure it was all the same. Well, for in our age bracket or mine, we're not exactly the same age, but close enough to where, you know, you'd go around and try to get as much as possible, bring it home and dump it all down. And your dad would have to go through it and make sure there wasn't any poison in there. And he would check it all. And then, you know, pillowcases. We used to use pillowcases. I don't think they do all that anymore. I think it's
fit more stuff.
Yeah. I think it's different now. We used to be able to go out by ourselves. You know,
Keep talking, Johnny. I'm going to just.
Is it your smoke alarms going off? You know, it used to be different back then, obviously. It's a different place now. You can't really just let the kids run around. It's not so much that you can't do it, it's just that the kids aren't as street as they, you know, used to be. So chances of some of them getting lured into a dungeon. But now, do they still do that? I don't know if they lure kids anymore to dungeons, but I would say you got to watch it now because there's crazy people out there. So the parents will go out with the kids, and usually they would walk up to the front steps with the kid, and you know, they watch him. It's a big experience, and then you give them the candy. But lately, I've been noticing that the fathers, the weekend dad, will just stay on the sidewalk and let the kid venture up to the haunted house, your house, for the candy by himself. And sometimes they don't go with a group. So it's just one awkward vampire football player. You know, what are you? I'm a football player and a vampire. And then the dad's like on the sidewalk, like, and you know, off to the next house, and they probably just go as long as they could take it, and then that's it. I don't have any kids, so I just can watch it. But it's not the same anymore. I'm sure it's fine. They don't come here, though. They can't get up here.
Right. So there's no trick-or-treating in your palatial estate.
No. They if they had a bowl of candy down there by the front desk, and it looked like the worst stuff. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, am I gonna really eat that? or am I just going to go to Smith's and buy a lemon meringue pie? So that's what I bought the pie.
Did you have a lemon meringue pie?
And no, but I was going to have it later, but I don't think I really fit in the suit like I used to, so I probably shouldn't be eating any lemon meringue pie. But that candy they had down there looked horrible. It wasn't any of the good stuff. And I know what's going to happen. I'm going to bite into a Tootsie Roll. And it's going to pull a cap out.
Right. That's the other problem with growing up. So you were talking about when we were kids and we went trick-or-treating. I lived in an apartment building in Manhattan, the the very tip of Manhattan. If you look at a map of Manhattan, I was at the very tip right before the Bronx, born in the Bronx.
Oh.
Manhattan. And we lived in an apartment building, and from there I would go trick-or-treating. And back then, in those days, you could go to you can hit all the places in the neighborhood, go to the other buildings too, and nobody would kill you, at least not that I knew of. And so they threw eggs, though. That was a big thing. People would get egged, like other people, and it was very scary. But so we would do what you said, the pillowcases, I think, because I got the most candy. And there was all the different type of people in the building. And the old people would give you sometimes fruit. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was worthless.
Nobody wants that.
Box of raisins.
Raisins? Yeah. The people that probably think they're changing the world. They want to keep the kids healthy. So these fat little kids that come with their candy bags, they're giving them raisins because they just want to know that they made a difference.
Right. Yeah, which is bullshit because we threw them right in the garbage. And then what about the people who gave change?
Yeah, they're probably it's probably come full circle now because you really can't use change too much. So they're probably like, can we get rid of this? Please give it to
maybe change is back.
I hear yeah.
As we get older, change is not such a bad thing. A little change could go a long way. We go down to the coin store, we put our change in, we could use that. Down payment on a house.
Yeah, I think in Summerlin, they just they don't give out change. They just give out checkbooks.
Yeah. I don't live in that nice of an area.
I don't. They just give out Venmo accounts. No, I don't either.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's much appreciated. We'll toast to you, Joseph. Johnny and I are having our beverages. Thank you so much. Appreciate everyone who supports the channel. It's true. I bet you the kids now walk around with the little tip me QR code, and then you can just send the money directly to their bank account.
Yeah, they grab a Snickers and then they let you know when their album drops.
Yeah,
that's when I was like, get off my property.
When we would get the full size candy bar, that was the best. Not very many people did it.
Yeah, they don't do that in all over. You got to go to the good neighborhoods for that.
Yes.
That's what they do in Summerlin. You get the full size. Yeah, full size.
I didn't mind getting some of the fun stuff, fun size ones. You didn't like getting things like Peeps, where they would open the package and then just throw a couple pumpkin Peeps into your bag because that's not safe. Did your family ever find a razor blade?
No. I mean, I watched something about that, like a special, and you don't know if it's a myth or not, but I mean, there's crazy people out there. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but putting it in an apple, just think about biting into an apple and then biting into a razor blade. I think it's such a graphic thought that it turned into like a folklore, I mean, maybe it's real. I don't know.
The guy who invented it. I mean, this guy could have wrote those Saw movies or whatever, to think of that, biting into an apple. Now the new one is you better be careful, kids, because they're putting that drug that kills you. They're putting the drug in the candy. And as you know, drug dealers, they love to share their drugs for free. I can't think of what the shit is called, but you know what I'm talking about. So they lace everything with it. Fentanyl.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, especially if you're like a kid with younger parents where you're actually getting cocaine for your gifts for Halloween. You want to keep the fentanyl out of the cocaine too.
Johnny, I like the way you think because you have to practice safety, adult or not. Susie says they could also inject it. And that was a common thing too, that people could inject it. Here's an interesting one that I hear is happening, but Johnny, I've never gotten this. People this year they gave out condiments, ketchup packets, mustard packets, mayonnaise packets, and barbecue dipping sauce.
It's getting tough out there. And I remember when we used to go to the hotels, Chip would come home with gifts. He'd come home with little conditioners and little soaps from the hotel.
I do that. Johnny, you told me that Chip enjoys giving away hotel products.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's only fancy if it's like a Hyatt. You can't give someone a Motel 8 soap. Although I am a little guilty of that. By the end of like 5-6 years, I had a bag this big filled with expired, soaps and toothpastes. I kept it so long it didn't smell anymore. So I just threw it out.
X-Head says they got Hostess pies.
Yeah, I remember that. Hostess pies.
I like those. They're really bad for you.
Are they? I remember I could just taste it now thinking about it. That's how terrible they were. The blueberry was my favorite. But the apple, you like to try it. The apple was a big one too. Apple pie is American. So you figure it's got the guy on there, and you crack it open, that certain smell, of that pie.
Right away, yeah.
Disgusting.
Did they have a thing called devil dogs where you came from?
I mean, it's like a hot dog you're talking about?
No, a devil dog. I think it only existed in the very East Coast. It was two pieces of chocolate with some vanilla frosting in the middle. Hostess made it. Ooh. It was very dry. But Vinny Appice, the drummer for Black Sabbath and he loved it, and he was playing Madison Square Garden, probably with Sabbath or Heaven and Hell. And everyone said, "What can we bring you when we come by?" And he said, "I don't know, devil dogs, because I miss growing up in Brooklyn and having devil dogs." And he said they brought it to him, and he had so many that he asked Tony Iommi if he would like to have a devil dog. Of course, Tony Iommi never experienced it, and Vinny told me you got to have a little milk with it because things were very dry. 2 pieces of devil's food cake, and here is Tony Iommi looks like a walrus, dipping his devil dog, and he experienced it for the first time. But that was a different one. There was also one called a Chocodile. Do you remember that?
I don't think we had that. That must be like a regional thing.
Must be. It was like a crocodile kind of character, but it was chocolate, and then it was a Twinkie with chocolate on the outside. They called it a Chocodile. Somebody said they got popcorn balls. That sounds terrible.
I remember those. That would be another thing you could find. I would think you would find a razor blade in, just like, randomly. But I remember also those pixie stick, the one with the white stick where you dip it in the Kool-Aid stuff.
Oh, right. That was actually called Fun Dip.
That was one of my favorites. And at the end, you get to eat that. Can you imagine if you kept one from then till now? Be like 30 years old. It'd probably be all right.
There's a guy on YouTube, Johnny, who does that. He buys that kind of shit, and then he eats it. He ate like a Reggie Jackson bar from 40 years ago.
I don't know if I would do that, but I mean, I know some companies remake the candy now. And I used to go into the stores with the basket. You open the door, and it would be like a wooden doors that would open like this with springs. Like, it really got to push it. And you get in there, and it would close behind you. And then the floors would be creaky, and you'd be like, hello, walking around like, and you take a little basket, and then you walk around the aisle, and you walk and you put your hand in each thing, and you fill your basket with each of their whatever candy you want from different baskets. And I don't know they do that anymore. I don't think it's probably not sanitary to do that, but that way you could try everything.
Yeah, that sounds like the most fun. Johnny Davis is sharing his story. He says, whenever you're doing a Halloween, I go to this weird guy's house up the street, and he would now that I'm reading it, I'm not sure we could say this out loud.
You can't say that.
No,
he stopped at the wrong house. Or
I should pre-screen these. Tina saying hello to you, and our new friend Herman. I think it's Hernan. I apologize, Hernan, from Peru. He says that he adores the work of Johnny with Enough's Enough, and that he's so talented on guitar. So I agree.
That's very nice of you to say. It's unfortunate that couldn't keep going and end up in Peru sometime. I've been in different countries for holidays. I lived in Hollywood once for Halloween. They go mental out there. They have like a drag parade, goes up and down the strip, and I didn't know what was going on. Well, we were also on acid, but the Halloween was that was epic. I don't have any fun anymore. I feel like what's the word? You feel like you're missing out. FOMOs. I got that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, Liam is reminding the Lickum Aid Fun Dip. Yeah, I mean, we should say for people who don't know what the hell we're talking about, I'll bring a picture of it up because I don't think it's hard to explain Fun Dip.
Well, yeah, it's just little packets with separate individual pouches with like lime, cherry, grape, and then you get one packet. These are all like separated by like dividers, and then in that packet, it's like almost like a piece of chalk looking, and it's like a vanilla-y tasting, and it's the stick that you use to dip. You lick it and you put it in the other powders, and then you eat the powder.
We probably shared them with our friends, which was probably very cleanly or whatever the fuck the word is.
A lot of it back then probably isn't. Like, remember dots? You'd have to rip them off the paper.
Yeah, those are weird too. I got a picture of the Fun Dip on the screen here. It's very small, but yeah, there's different compartments, and then you have a white stick, and you would lick the stick and stick them in different compartments, and each compartment had a different flavored sugar.
That looks like the modern version. See if you can find the older version.
That's what I thought about this picture too. It looks like some kind of fancy schmancy.
Yeah, they made it look this way. The other one was more square and it was white. And you'll find it eventually. I don't know how to add stuff on here.
Here's one that I think looks kind of like what we're talking about. Hold on.
I'm sure they still sell them. You know where they sell that stuff? At Cracker Barrel.
Oh yeah, they deal in the old candy?
And I have found stores that just specialize in that old candy stuff. We were at the airport. There was one of those stores. Remember? I think it was. Oh no, the straws with the sugar in them. That's different. That's a different thing. That's a pixie stick.
A pixie stick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you the one that I remember as a kid, but there's an older one. But let's start with this one. This is what I remember of this Fun Dip. It's funny how these things come back when you see them after you haven't seen them in a while. So this is what I remember. You remember this one? Can you see that?
Yeah. Wait, let me see. Oh, right. It's like that's a drawing of it, but that's right. What it looked like. It was white with like perforated spots, and it had the pouch like that. It's got to be. I thought it was called Fun Stick. I don't know. I don't remember.
I see people who have them on eBay. I guess the original ones are quite collectible, but it looks like that.
I'd eat that now, but
yeah, I mean,
I'm sure they make them now still, but back then that was just something that. But it was kind of a commitment. It's not like a candy bar. You just unwrap it, start eating it. You got to like open the thing. You got one thing, and you got other things, and you have to, it's a big mess, and it was a little bit of work.
I'm going to show you this one on eBay, and if somebody wants to buy this, guys, that's fine. But I think it's fun to see. Let's take a look here. This is an eBay auction active right now for Fun Dip, and this is the ones that we remember. You see that?
Oh yeah, we see
Fun Dip. He's only asking $6.45 for it. Oh, this is a magnet.
That still looks off. I don't know how to.
Yeah,
let's see if I can do this. Let me see if I can find it.
This guy's a magnet. He bootlegged the original flavor. 3 Fun Dip flavors, 2 candy sticks. So you and your friends could lick all over and then share the same bag of flavored sugar. So Johnny, we're reminiscing. By the way, Johnny, I brought my candy cane today. You see that? A candy. Is that called candy cane?
No, candy corn.
Candy corn. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little high tonight on something.
You are not.
I have it in my Frankenstein mug. And I'm going to have a little for both of us.
I like candy corn. Some people don't like it. They make fun of it. I don't understand. It's buttery. It's got a
Mhm,
texture to it.
mhm,
If you want, you could put them up here and pretend they're fangs.
mhm.
Um, a little waxy. You don't want to eat a million of them. I
No.
mean, I could, but they are some they get a bad rap, like
These
crack
kids,
cocaine.
yes, these kids today, Johnny, they love to hate things, and they like to say that it's wax and it's garbage and you should throw it away. But they didn't grow up with it the way we do. It has a it brings me back to a place in time.
I like candy corn.
Johnny is
Um,
Johnny Davis. He said that you can read his comment for yourself. Mm, he's working blue tonight.
funny. It's funny. Uh,
Johnny, Johnny, people are asking about your desk. I don't want to get into that yet. Um,
don't get me started with that
but what I
thing.
want to, we'll get to it. But right now we're reminiscing about Halloween. I feel like we're jumping a little bit ahead. We were talking about how when you get out there and you're getting your different candies, but we didn't talk about the costumes that we were wearing.
Hmm.
And so, Johnny, um, I'm assuming, like myself, you used to wear the plastic costume with the rubber band on the back of your head, no?
Done those. I mean, in the beginning, they were just those real thin masks with a thin piece of rubber band around it. They were really, remember?
Johnny, I went to when I was a kid. I wore a Batman mask, like that we're talking about. And the
Hmm.
other day, I went to the Spirit Halloween store,
Yeah.
and because everything's retro, they
Hmm.
sell them again. They
Huh.
just brought these back, and so this was $30 on sale for $10, and this is the Adam West
Mhm.
Batman mask.
Yeah.
Now, and I bought this really just out of nostalgia, but this uncomfortable thing is what we used to wear.
Yep.
They don't have the rubber band on the back, but I did wear this one year, and then I texted my mother because this was such a she. I figured she would get a kick out of this whole thing, and she reminded me that I dressed as ET one year
Mhm.
with one of these kind of masks, and also I was Jason Voorhees with a real hockey mask type of thing. And she told me other ones that I don't remember that well. But a lot of these Gil Gerard, uh, uh, not Gil Gerard, but the Buck Rogers. I was Buck
Mm.
Rogers with one of these masks. And tell me, Johnny, some of your costumes.
Mm. Well, it's going back a ways. I think I've dressed up as a football player.
O.J.
Um,
Simpson,
no, this was before that.
mm,
Of
major stuff.
course, you're going to do all the Dracula was probably in there. It's really weird that I don't remember. I mean, I probably have some photos I could find and look up, but the fact that I don't really remember, I'm sure I don't know,
You make it sound like this was the silent age.
right? It's terrible that I can't remember that.
You got to ask your mom, maybe.
Um,
She'll
I know I
remember.
have photos somewhere. Um, I'm sure I was like a cowboy. They probably dressed me up as like normal stuff.
Right.
Not now. People dress their they put a lot of thought into it. Something very unique. They're not just a standard thing anymore.
Hmm.
Some of the little kids maybe.
Well, nowadays the little kids dress up as like sexy nurses or half naked cats. Oh no, oh,
Terrible.
I live in a bad neighborhood. Um, I see somebody said that he dressed up as the Fall Guy, which is great. The Fall Guy, how cool is that? I had a Fall Guy lunchbox.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lee Majors, the
Yeah.
Fall Guy. Let's see what some other people remember dressing up as. Yeah, of course. Michael reminds us that the snap on those masks, the rubber band would actually hurt and pinch.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to uh, take off. Jason Neal says Ben Cooper costumes. I think maybe that's the company that made these. Pop Rocks. I remember Pop Rocks candy. I like those.
Yeah.
If you put them in Coca-Cola, I think it kills you. Is that correct?
It'll kill your cat.
Mm-hmm. Well, we shouldn't say that. Yeah. Let's see. That's not good. Yeah, everybody. We used to get sweets candy that used to start popping in your mouth. Okay, Chris. Yeah, Craig is there talking about that. And let's see. I'm trying to make sure that we can see. Button candy was the other thing we were talking about.
What's
That's
that?
a long strip that has dots all over it. It was It was really terrible, but yet
Yeah.
somehow we loved it. We'd sit there and chew on those things all day.
Yeah, dots.
Yeah, yeah. That was ridiculous. And oh, Michael had the Ace costume. I'm sure the Kiss costumes are probably very collectible now. But D Star says Happy Halloween to everybody. Johnny, are you having a wine?
Yeah, I had it in the house. I mean, I was just kind of bored here and wasn't really doing much. I didn't know we were going to do this, so I was eating, and then after this, got get ready, and had to go to a Halloween party the other night. And
yeah, I was a little surprised. Johnny, you and I are both a little bit agoraphobic, maybe. We're not the most social. I find that you're a little more social than I am, but you're a little bit more, I think you're a little bit more of the politician type. You're a performer. You're a little bit more man of the people. Also, I think you appreciate a free meal. But so you sometimes go to friends' houses and do things. Johnny, our friend Ryan invited you over to watch the Dodgers in the playoffs a few weeks ago. I couldn't understand why he would invite you to this party, but there was quite the spread of food. But you do not watch baseball, and the Dodgers got a shellacking, and you probably made fun of it. I mean, I don't know. It must be an odd thing, but somehow he did get you out. And so this weekend you went to an adult Halloween party, right?
well, when you say it like that, it sounds dirty, but there were some children there. But yeah, it was a Halloween party. I was invited to go, and adults they like Halloween parties. They drink and they hang out, and their kids are like, "Let's go! Want to leave? Leave."
Was there any trick or treating?
No, this was the day before. This was earlier, a couple days ago.
Did you bob for apples?
There was no real events. Except the hostess did do a handstand and eventually stand on her head.
Topless?
What's that?
Topless?
No, she was dressed as an 8-ball. I brought the raccoon, so the kids enjoyed that.
Kids love the wild raccoon.
They do. I told them the raccoon had rabies. They didn't understand what that meant, but after I sucked the raccoon on them, they were terrified. And put him back in the refrigerator so somebody would find him later. But they had a good time. The kids, there were some younger kids there. They had fun, and the adults all dressed up. There wasn't one guy there that wasn't dressed up.
Yeah. What were some of the costumes you saw?
Well, I saw a pimp, like a
well, no, purple. I mean, what were you dressed as?
Yeah, one guy was
dressed as a pimp. I'm sorry.
Just as a pimp, and he was married to one of the witches of what's that movie?
Hocus Pocus?
Mm-hmm.
One of the Sanderson sisters. Possibly.
Okay.
They're pretty ugly.
And then there was someone else dressed as it's like a hipster kind of guy. I think he just whatever he found in his closet.
If you had a fuck, marry, kill the Sanderson sisters, the ladies from Hocus Pocus, let's think about this.
Couldn't do it.
So, but let's think about it though. In case you don't know, it's Sarah Jessica Parker. It's Kathy Najimy and Bette Midler. If you want, I'll go first.
I know which one's not going to be first, and go ahead.
Well, first, let's have a moment of silence for Kathy. Kathy's not going to make it. Do you know that Kathy Najimy is married to the guy from the Dan Band. Do you know what the Dan Band is?
Oh yeah, I
Dan
do.
Band is in all those fun kind of movies like
Yeah.
Old School and stuff, and they curse in all the songs. I think it's funny. I've actually seen them live here in Vegas. It's a funny thing. Anyway, that guy Dan, he's married to Kathy and Jimmy, but so I don't want to ruin their relationship. I have to get rid of her. It's a tough choice between Sarah Jessica Parker and Bette Midler. You say that's ridiculous. I like Sarah Jessica Parker. I've been attracted to her since Square Pegs, but Bette Midler's got a lot of money. If you marry Bette Midler, think about. But then you have to see her every day. So I'm thinking you bang Bette Midler.
Oh,
It's tough. I know. You have a drink. She's Bette Midler. Well, she probably never was hot, was she?
Bette
Anyway,
Midler?
you bang her once. I don't know. Maybe would you bang Kathy and Jimmy? Maybe you're right. Kathy and Jimmy's probably better looking than Bette. She's younger.
I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What's her name?
Kathy Najimy, Najimy. She was a little heavier. She was in those Sister Act movies.
She's Japanese?
No,
Oh, no.
don't be rude.
No, I'm looking now.
Yeah. So
It's like I said, it's a false equivalence.
but so the point is, do you marry Sarah Jessica Parker or do you marry Bette Midler? You have to pick.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it's
All right. It's not. I guess Sarah Sarah Jessica Parker looks a little bit like me, though.
You say that like a bad thing.
Well, I mean, if you had I guess it would be her, and then the other two are a wash.
Well, you got to bang between Bette Midler and Kathy and Jimmy. I mean,
Oh man.
Bette Midler's more famous. I think that's where you go.
I think this is a horrible game.
I didn't invent it. I'm just enforcing the rules.
I don't think it can be done.
I would bang Bette Midler.
Oh yeah. Good luck with that. I won't be able to sleep ever again.
What's a big Bette Midler song?
Ooh.
I have a big one. It's got to be one giant Bette Midler song. "Wind Beneath My Wings." Is that her?
Oh, brutal. Here, hold on. I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We have something to play while being intimate.
Yeah, Wind Beneath the Rose.
The Rose. Yeah, there we go. A lot of Rose fans in the audience tonight.
That's just,
you guys all would bang her too, apparently. If you guys want to play the game, you can answer. You have to give us the three names, and you can play along. We'd be happy to. And I want to thank Joe for his support. Happy Halloween from Seattle. Best Halloween songs ever. Joe, we're going to get to that in just a minute. I made a list. I'm prepared for today's show. I have a list of Halloween songs. We're going to talk about that. Again, thank you for that super chat. Okay. Johnny says that there's three women who dress up there as the witches, and they call them the witches of Methwick. And okay, let's see. Danny, thank you very much. Great channel. I appreciate that. Please make sure you subscribe if anyone's watching who hasn't subscribed. Jay Ryan believes that SJP, which is Sarah Jessica Parker, he thinks she has a butterface. Possibly. But then Craig makes the point that banging Sarah Jessica Parker would be like banging Dee Snider. I think. Listen, it's a tough game, but sometimes you gotta. But Michael's a fair guy, equal opportunity guy. He says, "I'm just going to bang them all." That okay? And if that's what you're into, I think that's very fair. The wind beneath her wings. Anyway, so, but back to what we're saying, Johnny. What else were people dressed up at the soiree that you went to?
All right. Well, someone dressed up as Rick from Rick and Morty.
That's cool.
And one of the guys went as a cowboy, and his wife was somebody. Everyone knew who the couple was, but she had a black eye. And I don't know what that meant.
Brokeback Mountain?
Huh?
Were they Brokeback Mountain?
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, maybe they were trying to be clever.
Sometimes people get too clever.
Someone else. What else did someone else? Ryan dressed up as Jason, except he didn't have his mask on all night, so he just looked like he was there to change my oil.
Right.
And that's not in a sexual way.
Was he drinking?
No, it's sober October for this person.
Mm-hmm.
That's some kind of going to make back for the 22 years of drinking.
Yeah, I'm sure his liver's thanking him. So, what about No Nut November? Do you think people do that too?
Where they don't nut?
Mm-hmm.
That's such a bro term.
Listen, I didn't make it up. I think it's stupid. I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. Yeah, is that really even a thing?
People say it is.
So I could do a month. Stand on my head.
Well, why? But why would you?
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like they pay us at the end. If there was some kind of challenge,
maybe they just all want to get prostatitis.
Maybe. Well, that's a nice thought. Sometimes, yeah. Maybe that's maybe that's a thing.
So it's all build up until they get an ingrown hair.
True.
Or whatever happens down there.
Maybe listen. November starts in a little while for some of our East Coast fans. It is already November 1st, which means the Christmas season has begun. Where does the year go? Halloween, Thanksgiving.
Oh man!
And we're all a year older. I will point out that this year we're going to have some fun stuff on the show. First of all, I'm back to interviews. Tomorrow, I will be interviewing Brian Forsythe of the band Kix. Then the next day, I will be interviewing Dean Roberts of the band Leatherwolf. You and I met him together. One of those, Maryland, I don't know where we were. One of those cities. And God, they also Minnesota, maybe? I don't know. And then later this week, Paul Taylor, who's got really great stories. Paul Taylor, he's an original member of the band Winger. He was also with Alice Cooper, Constrictor, and Raise Your Fist and Yell. And interesting thing, he also has worked on Mick Mars' solo record that a lot of people have been asking about. And he can't say very much because it's really up to Mick Mars to make the formal announcement. But he'll be here to talk about that. He also wrote or co-wrote the new single with Skid Row called The Gang's All Here. The gang being everybody but Sebastian Bach. But anyway, he'll be here as well. And then, of course, we're also going to have tour diaries. I'm a little behind on that. And yes, we will also have the Golden Robots Records contest. We have to get to that. I feel comfortable being on camera again. Johnny's excited. Johnny did put in his votes. I will say that, which is more than I did. It is Halloween, and they're asking what my favorite Misfits song is. I say on Halloween, a great song to listen to is the song Halloween, if you're going to listen to one. I like Where Eagles Dare, and I like I Turned Into a Martian, and I like a few other favorites. My favorite, I'm trying to think of what my favorite is from them. There's so many. I like all those Misfits songs, but on this day, I think you should listen to Halloween by the Misfits, and you can also listen to Halloween 2 by the Misfits. Hold on. I see Indie Cult. Thank you very much for your super chat. My Xmas wish is you getting another interview with Donnie and Johnny on. I think it's possible. I think that is possible. I'll be honest with you. I think that Johnny and Chip is possible. I don't, and I think we need it. I think I need to moderate these guys. When Johnny and Chip were reunited in wherever we were for that, I stayed out of it a little bit. I didn't really get a good read on Chip. He's an interesting guy. He's a character, and he is so much in his own world. This is my opinion. That I'm not sure you could actually have a conversation with him. I did tell him that we needed to get Donnie back and get the gang together, and he then ran for it. But it is on film, and you'll see it in the tour diary. But I would like to have Donnie back on the show. I think Donnie needs to come back and talk. The problem is at the time, Donnie had somebody handling him to help him do those things. Just getting Donnie V to do anything is not that easy. Nike Agogo is a great Mrs. Song. Bullet, that's one of my favorites. She, Bullet, and We Are 138, those are great, but Bullet is one of my favorites, and we all know that Texas is the reason that the president's dead. I was going to go to see the Misfits and Alice Cooper in Texas, but I was not quite ready for that travel. Now, Q Reich, 1967, I didn't know Q Reich was around then. He says he had a discussion with Stevie Rochelle about John 5. I'm not sure what that is, but I will say here that I am the one who told Stevie Rochelle about John 5 joining Motley Crue, and then he wrote the story. And nothing wrong with that. I told him he could. But I did, and I told Johnny Monaco and Stephen Piercy, you were the first people I told in an airport, and we all thought it sounded plausible.
Yeah, someone wrote some bad in the comments. They said something that I, like, who are you? Fixing your hair, Italian girl.
They seemed like they thought you disrespected the
I don't think I did. I probably just said he's a professional. It makes sense. They're kind of similar vibe wise, as long as he could play the solos the way they were written, because people remember him that way. Not that he can't, do other stuff, but you probably want to hear those solos. He has technique. I mean, and he's been around. He's gotten a name. I said I thought it was a fine fit, but always maybe they misinterpreted the way I said it.
I think people wanted you to dance for joy, and suck him and straddle his balls. I think people like that, but you maybe you were slightly underwhelmed. I will say that this here, Q Reich, he said you were one of 3 people to tell him. I will tell you that I was number 1. He told me that he had not heard that anywhere before. He probably started calling around, and 2 people might have said something. But I will tell you, for the record, and he will admit it, I was the first person to break that huge story. And I'll tell you why I didn't break it on the show first, because I don't give a fuck. I don't think it's that interesting either. I didn't think of this show as a music, a news show. But at the same time, I think of myself as trying to get monetized. And if people tuned in, and by the way, 11,000 people tuned into that episode, I'll take it. So next time I hear some kind of rumor, I'll just run with it and I'll say it here, because I don't give a frog's fat ass. We need cash. Anyway, so we're talking about Halloween. That's really what we're here for. Johnny, what are you munching on over there?
I'm eating chocolate from Paris.
That's your Halloween treat?
I know, right? I used to be from the streets. Now I'm drinking wine and eating French chocolate in a suit. I don't know what's happened.
This is ridiculous. Oh, here, Hybrid Moments. That's another great Misfits song. You guys are good on your Misfits songs. The older I get, the less I remember titles. I did make a little list of Halloween songs, though. I have it right here. I don't usually like, they make these playlists. And on these playlists, a lot of the time, they just pick things like Black Magic Woman. That's not really a Halloween song in my eyes, but because it's about black magic or things like that. But there's a few of the Halloween songs that I think you should have on your Halloween playlist, starting with Tubular Bells. I feel like everyone should have Tubular Bells on their Halloween playlist. That's the theme from The Exorcist. If you don't know, it's always scary. And it's a must. Then, of course, if you're doing Halloween movie songs, John Carpenter's Halloween. John Carpenter wrote a great song, the Halloween theme. It's always in my head. Then I was thinking, Johnny, Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party. You ever play that one?
I don't know if I know that one.
You know it.
I know which one I would put for number 1, but keep going.
Well, I made the Sinners play that Dead Man's Party at one of our shows, and they said it was a difficult arrangement. Danny Elfman went on to compose all of Tim Burton's movies. A very talented guy. But he was in a band called Oingo Boingo. They had the hits Weird Science and Dead Man's Party. You would know it. Now, we've got some people giving their suggestions, but okay, Johnny, do you want to give yours now? Go ahead.
Keep going.
All right. Okay. Well, then Well, I tell you, I heard this one that's new to me. It's called "Baby, You're a Haunted House" by Gerard Way, who is the singer for the band My Chemical Romance. And this is great. And Johnny, you would like that song. You should listen to it.
Yeah.
What a catchy power pop. I don't know if he's the king of power pop, but a great song, "Baby, You're a Haunted House." I enjoyed that one. It's a new one to the list this year. Black Number One by Typo Negative. There's a million Typo Negative songs you can pick, but Black Number One is probably the biggest hit. You got to listen to the 10-minute, 11-minute version, the full version. Johnny, we are on the road a lot with Stephen Piercy, of course, and there's a lot of shows at Quiet Riot are there. My favorite part of the show is because Johnny Kelly is there. They play a little snippet of Black Number One, and it's fun to watch Rudy Sarzo play the Peter Steele part. I wonder what Peter Steele would think. I'm sure he'd find it cool. And then I have to put my song after that. I wrote a song. I have to look at my list because I can't remember the name of the song, but it's called "On the Darkest Night." It's on the Sin City Rejects record, which is coming out next year on a vinyl through Golden Robot Records. But it's called "On the Darkest Night," and Johnny Kelly plays drums on it. And it was my attempt to kind of steal a Typo Negative song. So I want to get an honorable mention of that. I don't think I'm going to have your song on there, Johnny, so I'll keep going. Pet Sematary by the Ramones. I feel like if you're a punk rock fan, you want to have that on your list. And then Alice Cooper, there's a lot you can pick. Alice Cooper has a lot. I think for Halloween, "Welcome to My Nightmare" that's a good choice to get a Halloween party going. And if we're on the classic vibe, "I Put a Spell on You." I feel like that's a good spooky song, probably where Alice Cooper and a lot of others got their act. Now, I see a lot of people saying, of course, the Monster Mash.
That's the one I was going to say. All 5 Monster Mash.
I think Monster Mash has to be number one at any Halloween party. I worked on a show in New York City called Madison Square Garden, and it was this maze thing where you would scare people, and you'd have it was a story, and the story was the story of Pirate Jack, and the Pirate Jack character was Alice Cooper. Then they had this really shitty band that was Chris Angel's band. He was a musician before. Johnny, I think the lights went out. Oh, shit. Either this is a voodoo seance. Oh, you're back. Okay, good. And so Chris Angel, before he was a magician, he had a band. And in his band, 1 second he'd be over here, and then the next second he'd be over there. But Bobby Boris Pickett was also in this show, and he would perform the Monster Mash like every hour. And it was kind of crazy because when I come into work, I'd walk up the ramp that you see in The Song Remains the Same, Led Zeppelin, and that famous image. And then I would watch Bobby Boris Pickett sing the Monster Mash every day, which was a treat. What a great song. Okay, so a lot of people saying King Diamond. I'm seeing a lot of that. Black Sabbath, I'm seeing a lot of. Georgia, welcome. Thank you. Sick Things by Alice Cooper and Devil's Food. That's what Donna is saying. Donna had another comment I wanted to get to. Love King Diamond. Johnny obviously was with you on the Monster Mash. Let's see. Dream Warriors. Dawkins, Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I believe, on that one. The Phantasm theme, definitely spooky. Ghouls Night Out, Misfit song, very spooky. I wonder what Doyle dresses up for Halloween. That is a great question. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm getting to all your things. And Indie Cult, you're the very supportive, and we appreciate. We're going to talk about the Paul Lynde special in just a minute. Don't you worry. I haven't forgot. It's on my list. Purple People Eater. Thriller, that's a good one. Thriller, I think, fits a Halloween party, and Thriller also has the Vincent Price narration. And Kiss Unholy. I think there's probably other Kiss songs, but okay. So anyway, and then you could probably play the theme from the Munsters and all of those type of things, and the Addams Family, if you're having a Alice Cooper, Dead Babies. That's probably a good one. Creatures of the Night for Kiss. That's probably a good one. Someone's Watching Me by Rockwell. You know what's funny, Johnny? Michelle was over and we were listening to these type of songs, and Someone's Watching Me came on. You know that song, right? I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the guy Rockwell, I believe he is the son of Berry Gordy of Motown, as was the band LMFAO singer. But so the reason that Rockwell got so popular was because of his connection to Motown Records. But Michelle wasn't aware, as a lot of people aren't. Do you know who sang the chorus to that song?
No. Oh. Sounds like Michael Jackson almost.
The late, great Michael Jackson. And most people thought, that it sounded like Michael Jackson. They didn't credit him. I think there was some kind of deal with the credit. So anyway, on that great classic song, Michael Jackson singing along. So he had a thing for watching men in the shower. Well, you saw the video. I mean, and then he also liked a good Halloween song. Screaming Jay Hawkins opened for the Misfits on Halloween 1980. What a cool show. Oh, yeah, Arthur Brown, Fire, the God of Hellfire. That's a good one. Kiss, God of Thunder. I think that one's better than Unholy. And Season of the Witch. Some people say Season of the Witch. I don't know. It's not on my list, but okay. So anyway, we're going to get to some of the other people's things. So that's a few things. But then we should also talk about Halloween movies, because this is the time you watch horror movies. And now, Johnny, I didn't tell you to prepare anything, but I'm sure you can think of a few Halloween movies. Now, I went to see The Creature from the Black Lagoon in the theater the other day. It was a double feature with The Phantom of the Opera, the Claude Rains version, not the silent Lon Chaney version. We got tired and left after The Creature from the Black Lagoon. But that's one of my all-time favorite horror movies. When I was a kid, Johnny, and you might remember this, in New York, it was called Channel 11, but you probably had a similar channel in Chicago. They would do these promotions where they would show 3D movies, and we had to go to Burger King to get our 3D glasses. The one eye was red and one was blue. And then you got your glasses and you came home and you watched your 3D movie. Did you do those kind of things?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the Svengoolie and things like that, those kind of shows where you had a host. And so I would watch. So that's how I first saw Creature from the Black Lagoon. It was much scarier then. But so I recommend that if you're a fan of Universal horror and classic movies. I feel like the double feature to do was Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. They're not the scariest anymore, but they definitely put you in the Halloween spirit. Johnny Ramone told me his favorite horror movie of all time, Bride of Frankenstein. It is a great movie. A lot of people say Dracula. Now listen, Bela Lugosi as Dracula is incredible, but the movie Dracula is a little boring. And if people tell you they love to watch it, I'm not so sure about them. It's boring. But you can't go wrong with any Universal horror. The Mummy's great too.
Yeah.
All of those movies are good. The Wolfman, as you know, he used to book flights for us. Wolfman is good. They're all, you can't go wrong. But so I was trying to make a list of Halloween movies for people. Let's say you date somebody who's younger, who maybe isn't as much an expert on horror movies. There's certain movies that everybody should watch. So rather than me give you the deep cuts of my opinion, let me give you some of the must-watch movies. So we start with Halloween. You have to see the original 1978 John Carpenter Halloween. I also recommend Halloween 2. Halloween 2 is the movie that outlines the story that, spoiler alert, Michael Myers and Laurie Strode are brother and sister, kind of the Empire Strikes Back before its time. Then comes a movie called Halloween 3. Johnny, are you familiar with Halloween 3?
I mean, I've probably seen it, which got to remind me.
So for the first time, Michael Myers has nothing to do with the movie. And it's a completely different movie. John Carpenter said that he wanted to make Halloween movies that were different every time, sort of like a Twilight Zone thing, different story each time for Halloween. That was the only common thing. Halloween 1 did so well that he had to make Halloween 2. Then when Halloween 3 came out, he said, call it Halloween. It was called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. The plot of the movie is that this company, the Silver Shamrock Company, they make these 3 masks, a witch, a pumpkin, and I think a skeleton. And when you wear the mask on Halloween, bad things happen. Your face melts or whatever. But some people like it. It's become a cult movie. When I was a kid, we hated it because Michael Myers wasn't there. And a lot of people ask me, when you watch the Halloween movies, what order do you watch them? And to be honest, you skip part 3. It's a standalone movie that has its own kind of fun. And they have these 3 masks, which are a lot like the McDonald's pails. Johnny, everyone's going out to get these pails. There's a ghost one, there's a white one, a red one, a green one. I don't know if they're going to make me my brain melt. The food is definitely going to kill me. But I thought I'd show off the pail. There's 3 of these, which reminded me of that Halloween movie. Anyway, it has a catchy song on the TV, 3 more days to Halloween, Halloween. And then it's London Bridge is falling down, and then Silver Shamrock. Anyway, so, and a lot of people here definitely remember it. A lot of people being very nostalgic about it. And the Silver Shamrock logo. And Sin City Collector Jay, he's got some good ones too. And we're going to talk about his picks because his are different than mine. Then after that, Halloween took a long break. Halloween 4 comes out with Danielle Harris, the character Jamie Lloyd, which I believe is supposed to be Laurie Strode's niece or some shit, cousin, who knows. Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 were good for me. 5, Curse of Michael Myers is so-so. Everything after gets bad. 6, 7, 8, H2O is horrific. The Rob Zombie movies for me are unwatchable. Rob Zombie, although I did enjoy Rob Zombie's Monsters. Johnny, you should check it out. You might actually like it. I expected to hate it. It was pretty entertaining. Otherwise, Rob Zombie. And then these new Halloween movies are pretty rough. The first one, 2018 Halloween, I was disappointed, but it's not unwatchable. The second one with Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle, I thought was terrible. They made it into this gory movie, but all of a sudden Michael Myers had superpowers and he was killing. They couldn't kill him, and you were rooting for him to kill people because the actors were so obnoxious. The third one, I won't say too much about. Everyone wants to hate it. I kind of enjoyed it. I liked it better than the second one, and it had some throwbacks to the other Halloween movie. Okay, so other movies that I think you have to watch, and then we're going to get to your guys' picks because you got some good ones. I feel like you have to watch Ghostbusters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone has seen Ghostbusters, and I feel like it's a good Halloween movie. Fun one. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is another fun Halloween movie. Do you like Beetlejuice, Johnny?
Yeah, it's good.
Music by Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh.
Gotta watch Nightmare on Elm Street. Some of those are good. Some of those are bad. Part 2 was bad, but they started to fix it. Of course, Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th is a tricky one. First movie, as we know, has Kevin Bacon in it. Betsy Palmer as Jason's mother. She was great on those old talk shows, game shows, and as most people know, she's the killer. Jason only appears at the very end of the movie. He jumps out of the water one scene. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Part 2, Jason wears a burlap sack on his head.
Mm.
And a lot of people don't realize that. Steve Dash was the actor. He's deceased now. But in in Friday the 13th Part 3, which is in 3D, Jason first gets his hockey mask. And that one's good. I like that one. I saw it in 3D in a theater in New York a few years back. And then also 4 is the final chapter. That has Dudley from Different Strokes. You remember the episode where the guy from WKRP got fresh with Dudley? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
It was a very special Different Strokes. Dudley was hanging around the bike shop, and then he tried to take him a bath and take Polaroids of him. It's terrible. Luckily, Dudley escaped. Mr. Drummond broke in with the authorities.
Yeah, they're frowned upon that now.
Yeah, but also, and speaking of that type of thing, Corey Feldman was in the movie as well. Part 5 was a weird one. Then they got to the times where sometimes it wasn't Jason, it was an imitator. Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. They filmed in New York. I had a friend who worked on it. I actually own a few props from that movie. That began Kane Hodder's run. And then Jason X when he's in outer space, has one or two funny scenes, but that's pretty awful. And they have legal troubles with these Jason movies. This guy, Sean Cunningham, he created Friday the 13th, but he did not create the hockey mask. Everyone's fighting, and so they're trying to decide what to do about future Friday the 13th movies, which I would like to see as well. So, Sin City Collector says Aliens. I don't really think of Aliens as a Halloween movie, and I would probably go with the original Alien, although it has less action. Drag Me to Hell, I didn't even see. I don't know that one. Jay, you're going to have to give us a synopsis, if you will. It sounds like a Rob Zombie movie, which would mean I probably won't like it. He had some other interesting ones. So everyone's talking about The Strangers. I can't watch realistic movies. Do you know about this Strangers movie, Johnny?
I don't think so. What's that?
These people are like Home Alone, and these people come over, knock on the door, and then they just tie them up and kill them and stuff.
Yeah. They're trying to make it realistic, kind of like The Purge.
Yeah, and I don't like. He also says Ghoulies and Tremors; those are more fun. But I don't like anything that could happen. Jason and Michael are kind of out there. You know, I mean, I guess Michael Myers could show up.
No, they're talking like home invasion, and
yeah. I don't. I'm looking around right now. I don't.
No one's getting up here. I could barely get in this building.
You have a good point. There's a lot of things to be fearful in your building, but I don't think that's one of them. Another vote for Critters. Here's a vote for Fright Night. Interesting thing about the movie Fright Night. The star, Chris Sarandon, who plays the vampire, is also the speaking voice of Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas. And Danny Elfman, again, is the singing voice of Jack Skellington. But also the actor who played his lovable buddy, Stephen Jeffries, he went on to make gay porn, from Fright Night to gay porn. Amanda Burse was also in the movie from Married with Children. She was Marcy Darcy, the neighbor. Of course, The Shining.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen the sequel, Doctor Sleep. Have you?
No, I didn't know there was a sequel.
Yeah, I want to watch it. Ewan McGregor plays the kid, Torrance kid, all grown up, and he goes back to confront his fears. I hear it's very good, so I would like to see that one. I did a lot of reading on The Shining because I was hoping that on one of our road trips we would be close enough.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hotel, yeah, the Overlook Hotel, the Stanley Hotel is where Stephen King stayed, and he wrote the story, but it's not in the movie. It is in the miniseries. Stephen King hated The Shining, and he wanted to do a TV version miniseries that nobody really talks about. The Overlook Hotel, I forgot where it is now, but it's in one of those places. And if we ever pass it, I would like to film that. Let's see. Jeepers Creepers.
That was good.
Yeah, that's a good one. I Spit on Your Grave. That's a little racy. You ever see that?
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of TNA in that.
A lot of TNA. I don't find that one as fun. Jeffrey met Kane Hodder at Comic-Con. That's the Jason from 8, 9, 10, and maybe 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's see. Carrie, of course. Carrie.
Oh, yeah. That's a classic.
And what a great cast. William Catt, the greatest American hero. Right?
Yeah, that's right. What about a Trilogy of Terror?
I don't remember it. We talked about it recently. I don't remember it, though.
With the little doll with the knife.
Mm-hmm. We thought there was somebody you and I saw that reminded us of it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who. Gordon Jump is the name of the guy who molested Dudley, or attempted to.
Well, hold on a second.
He was also the Maytag man.
Well, those two aren't exclusive. Unless you in the fix your washing machine, next thing you know, therapy for life.
Mm-hmm. Jason Takes Vancouver. Joe makes a good point. Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan was only filmed in Times Square for 2 days, and my friend invited us. The script said Ethan instead of Jason. They didn't want anyone to find it. And when people walked by, they told them they were filming a low-budget movie, and they didn't bring Jason out until about 4 in the morning to try not to cause a big commotion or get the movie leaked. But yes, the majority of the movie was filmed in Vancouver. There's a Jackie Chan movie called Rumble in the Bronx. It
Oh
was
yeah.
completely filmed in Canada. There's beautiful cafes and water. But Trick or Treat was a fun one. I saw that in the theater. That's the one with Sammy Kerr and the band Fastway, I believe. And I believe the guy from Fastway, and someone in the chat knows, he's in one of these bands now, like one of these Irish country bands. Whoever knows what I'm talking about, put it in the comment. But the guy is around. I see he signs Fastway records and things. But anyway, Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons both had cameos, and Mark Price, who played Skippy on Family Ties, was a star. Do you remember this movie, Johnny?
Which one?
Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
You play the record backwards, and then these demonic things came. There's also Trick or Treat, which is Trick or Treat with the character Sam. I saw a lot of kids dressing up as that. That's more of a modern movie, not one of my favorites. Michael says Hocus Pocus. Michael, if you missed our discussion on Hocus Pocus, go back. You'll find out that I was talking to Midler. Lost Boys is a good choice. And Michelle reminded me earlier that Cry Little Sister, I should put that on my Halloween song list. I also had G. Tom Mack on this show. He discussed it. They're working on a Lost Boys musical. Evil Speak from 1982, directed by Lucio Fuca. I did meet him, and it was very interesting. I think he put a spell on me. My life has been bad ever since. I'm not a giant Hellraiser fan, but some people are. Johnny, do you like the Hellraiser movies?
It's interesting.
It's not my favorite. I like the character more than the movie.
Right. Yeah. It's an interesting concept, I guess. I mean, there's so many movies you can go. This can go on and on. No one's mentioned the scariest movie of all time.
All right. Well, here's your shot.
The Exorcist.
Exorcist, yes, Exorcist for sure. And Johnny, the youth, they don't find it scary.
Well, that's because they have so many student loans that are not paid off that they're not afraid of The Exorcist.
Right. They might have bigger fears, but I found The Exorcist very creepy. A good movie surrounds the promotion of it, and the attitude and the feel is what's spooky. Movies today don't do that. They have to rely on home invasion and things you see in the newspaper.
Right.
A guy hosts a reality show, and he says, and he becomes president. Things like that. There's a whole new thing out there. But in the past, these movies had a vibe. Jaws had a vibe. The Exorcist had a vibe. You didn't have to see the monster right away. I like that movies like Frankenstein, even Creature from Black Lagoon, they hid the monster's face for a while. When I worked for Troma makers, The Toxic Avenger, they didn't show the Toxic Avenger's face right away. They copied the Frankenstein idea. They told me they did that. Exorcist, though, Linda Blair, spitting pea soup, crazy. Frixier says Dr. Sleep was very good. I might watch that today and see if it helps me sleep. I didn't really enjoy Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's not really my thing. I'm more into Todd Browning's 1931 Dracula. Christine, I don't remember very well. I know it's a car and the car kills people. Do you remember it?
Yeah. That was pretty good. Yeah, I think that has some moments.
Shining again. Here's an interesting, I feel like Gremlins is a Christmas movie, not a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Gremlins really takes place during Christmas. And the Mogwai Gizmo is a Christmas present. And I think it's fun to watch at Christmas. Actually, Gremlins has a lot of tributes to It's a Wonderful Life in it, oddly enough. When a Stranger Calls. Johnny, I think we talked about that one, didn't we?
Yeah. Have you checked the children?
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't you checked the children? The call's coming from inside the house. Get out of the house now. He's got a big phone with a cord on it. Like, ah! Yeah, that was terrifying.
From inside the house is one of the creepiest things I ever heard.
That is still super chilling just to hear that. Nowadays, it doesn't really work, because nobody's got it.
They tried it with Scream a little bit, though, I think, in the first Scream movie where she's on the phone. And
Right.
she was outside. They tried. I watched a movie called Black Christmas, which had Olivia Hussey, African American Christmas. I apologize. Please don't cancel me. But anyway, I watched it, and Olivia Hussey's in it. She's really hot. She was in Romeo and Juliet, Franco Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet. And when I worked for Troma, I wrote a draft of a movie called Tromeo and Juliet with a guy named James Gunn, who's now the biggest director in all the world. He did the Guardians of the Galaxy and that Peacemaker show, and he's rich and famous, and I'm sitting around alone Halloween chatting. I'm depressed again. Anyway, when we were writing that, they told me to watch Romeo and Juliet, that version, and I watched it. And Olivia Hussey is topless in the movie. And I rewound and fast forward and freeze framed and jacked off, like at least 10 times. And then I found out she's like 16. And but if it's art, you can do that. Anyway, Olivia Hussey, though, she is in this Black Christmas, and it's kind of creepy. And I don't want to give the movie away, but there's a guy living in the attic, and he's making calls from inside the house, and they eventually try to call. But the movie is made so dark and cheap that it's creepy as fuck. Bill Shapiro says Psycho 1 and 2. He's saying 2 and 3. Olivia Hussey is in one of those, I believe. I think she's in 2. Henry Thomas from E.T. is in one of the sequels as well to Psycho. I don't remember them that well, although I hear the Bates TV show was good. Bates Motel. You hear that?
Yeah, I watched that.
I only saw a couple episodes. I got to finish it, but I heard it's very good.
It is good.
Angel, thank you for joining us. The hotel is in Oregon. Thank you. That's right, Oregon. So if we get to Oregon, we know to look for the Overlook.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw some other people. Oh, someone explaining Drag Me to Hell. Drag Me to Hell is a Sam Raimi movie, very much in the style of Evil Dead. Okay, cool. And Evil Dead movies are a lot of fun as well. Another one for When a Stranger Calls. And Chopping Mall. I remember that. That was the good old days of VHS when everything, the mall could be haunted, the blender could be haunted, the VHS player, everything could kill you. Santa Claus was going to kill you, Silent Night, Deadly Night. And yes, William Cat was also in House. And yes, Chucky from the movie Child's Play. Motel Hell. Do you remember Motel Hell, Johnny?
Oh, yeah.
That was another creepy one when I was a kid that people probably wouldn't find creepy now.
Yeah, it's the translators.
Pigs with chainsaws. This kind of sums it up. People with big pig heads and chainsaws. Again, we're going back to the guy who allegedly molested Dudley, Arthur from WKRP. A lot of people, Mr. Carlson, the big guy. A lot of people can't let that one go. Freddy versus Jason. I think that was something we were waiting for, but I don't know how exciting it was. I did see it. Svengoolie played Trilogy of Terror 2 weeks ago. Johnny, did you watch it?
I watched Svengoolie Saturday and Sunday. They had a special on where they played a bunch of Koshak Night Stalkers in a row. And prior to that, they did a whole segment on Svengoolie and how he came up and where he's from, and then they drove him around town like nowadays. It was pretty good.
Night Stalker, Kolchak the Night Stalker, was filmed in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was known for the paintings. A friend of mine had a book of all the paintings, and I think they sold some of those paintings. Or
you ever see that stupid movie Rubber?
I don't think so.
It's a horror movie about a tire. Like the tire just like moves around by itself and kills people.
It sounds exactly like what the 80s were known for.
Yeah, I just put it in the comments. It's actually current. Well, not current, but it's like, I don't know, maybe 12 years old. Probably one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. But supposedly that's a horror movie.
I gotta look that one up.
It's called Rubber.
Donna I think they call them condoms now. Donna DeAnda is reminded. The band is Flogging Molly. The guy from Fastway is in Flogging Molly. So that's
for him.
I think they opened for the Misfits and Alice Cooper the other night.
They're very popular, Flogging Molly.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that he was once in Fastway. there's hope for all of us. Leo says The Exorcist scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Yeah, of course. And
Amityville Horror. Yeah, there you go.
Amityville Horror. I didn't even catch that one. Yeah, that's a real. That was another one that I bet you people don't find as scary today as they did then. White Zombie, the movie, of course, not the band. The movie is definitely a creepy old movie. Last of Nukem High, one of my favorites, but I don't know if I don't call it a horror movie. Let's see, The Thing. I'm not a giant fan. Now he's into the John Carpenter version. I gotta watch that again. You know, the other night I watched this Escape from New York again. I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My father took me to see it in the theater. I was 6 years old. Probably wasn't appropriate. And I said, I'm going to watch it. I'm probably going to hate it, because when you grow up, things change. I still loved it. I really enjoyed Escape from New York. A lot of the Halloween cast is in it. Tom Atkins from Halloween 3 is in it. It was co-written by Nick Castle, who played Michael Myers in the original movie. Dr. Loomis is the president. And then if you go to his other John Carpenter movies, you get Adrienne Barbeau, who had a great Iraq. And then Jamie Lee Curtis is actually she does the voiceover in the movie. We should add another one of these F, Marry, Kill games, but we need a third woman of the type. But I got it. Here it is, Johnny. Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Linda Blair.
Oh, come on.
Now, yeah. Now, I've met all three of those women. Jamie Lee Curtis is married to Christopher Guest, who is Nigel Tufnell in Spinal Tap.
Mm-hmm.
They have two adopted children. One of their children he was a boy who is now a girl. Nothing wrong with that. I don't completely get it though, because it doesn't look all that realistic. But okay, whatever. Johnny, she kind of looks like you right now. You know what I mean? It's
Who?
Bad. Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter.
Oh, okay.
But Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter was not born a daughter. You get what I'm saying? We better not get into this. You get canceled. Anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis, Adrienne Barbeau, or Linda Blair. I mean, you say in their prime, maybe, because now they're older women.
Adrienne Barbeau.
Are you looking it up?
I don't know who Adrienne Barbeau looks like.
How do you not know who Adrienne Barbeau is?
I may know. Hold on. Oh, yeah, she was in.
She was on Maude.
Creep Show.
Creep Show. That's right. She was in Maude.
Okay, well, I know which one I'm banging.
She's got a nice rack, right?
She looks like she'd be, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I guess that one is the bang.
Okay.
I would marry Linda Blair.
Okay.
I guess that only leaves
Jamie Lee.
Guess she dies at the end of this episode.
The final girl no more. Well, this is a good one. Adrienne Barbeau. I gotta bang Jamie Lee Curtis. I think, even though if you see her in she's selling that Activa or whatever it is,
all right.
She's selling fiber medicine.
No.
But she's Laurie Strode.
No, I wouldn't be able to. She'd be looking back at you with that face like she's,
Do you remember the rumor about her when we were younger that she was hermaphrodite? Everybody said that she had a penis and a vagina. I don't know if I believed it, but you never heard that?
Well, she is a director.
Did you hear about Richard Gere and the Gerbil?
Oh, yeah, everyone knows that.
These came out around the same time. Anyway, this is a tough game. I've met Linda Blair a lot. She's a little grouchy.
Well, yeah, that's the one you want to marry.
Yeah, she's a vegan and a very strict animal activist as well.
I'm not saying we have to sleep in the same bed. Oh, I thought we were doing it in their prime.
Oh, okay, prime.
Because I've always wanted to marry a 14-year-old. That's not true.
She was in a movie called Chained Heat. I mean, she was in a movie called Savage Streets. We can go by that time when she was topless in prison movies.
Okay, still inappropriate.
I'm banging Jamie Lee Curtis. It's gonna be tough.
Or now? Now?
Either way, either way.
Because
Yeah,
she was not very unhappy with Kanye West's tweets. So you might have to listen to some of that while you're banging.
I mean, listen, I'm with her, and then I'm unhappy with his music, and
Yee.
then
Yee.
Yee, we should call him by his
Yee.
slave.
Yee.
Oh, and then
Yee.
and then then I think I'm gonna marry Linda Blair also. Maybe I don't know. It's a tough one because I don't want to let Adrienne Barbeau go, but I'm a fame I'm a glory hound with fame. You guys in the comments, let us know if you're thinking what I'm thinking. God, there's so many comments to get to. Here's a Linda Blair. Here is a Savage Streets. Oh gosh, I wish I could get to everybody's. Here's a Linda Blair. Fuck Rick James. That's a good point. She also fucked Rick Springfield though. She has a thing for guys named Rick. Barbeau was also in the Cannonball Run. That is true. And then someone said they'd like to see me interview the guitar player for Vane. It's an odd thing to ask now. Barbeau for sure. Here is JB who says that Jamie Lee Curtis has a penis. So it's not just me who thinks that. Here's somebody who's involved, says they would get rid of Jamie Lee, they would do Linda Blair and marry Adrienne Barbeau. So thinking a lot. Adrienne by a long shot. Bill says Back to School, which has nothing to do with any of this, but I like a good Rodney Dangerfield movie. A lot of people are talking about They Live for their horror movie. Roddy Piper here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of bubblegum or whatever the line is. Let's see. Johnny's coat attacks L.A. I didn't really get it either, but
I thought we were dressing up for this.
Now, no. I did. Did you see my costume, Johnny? I wore it when the show started.
I was late to the party. I was.
Yeah, I wore it. I had mood lighting, and yeah, I did it already.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe dressing up would give me some sense of, direction and something, but it really, it's all I feel is just.
Johnny, I understand. Before you start to get depressed, we have a question and $5, which I appreciate. Indy Cult, thank you so much. Johnny and I will use that when we go out looking for treats. Dinner. As we're getting to the holidays, when can we buy She Said She Found Her Soulmate? It's a great question. Johnny is working on an album called She Said She Found Her Soulmate. It will be available wherever fine records, tapes, and 8-tracks are sold. And it's all new original music from Johnny Monaco. There is a clip of it on YouTube. If you haven't been to Johnny's social media, go do that, or go to YouTube and you can see his page and subscribe. But also watch the teaser because there's some really great, catchy songs. I don't say that just because we associate with each other. They are really good songs. Johnny, when's the record coming out?
Well, I have made a little progress since then. I've
stopped the press.
Yeah, well, I got my stuff set up here on this second desk, and I started. I feel like if I got this thing, I might as well. I gotta do something now. So I wrote some more lyrics. I still have to finish some lyrics and play some bass, but I've at least started the process. I really want to get it done because I want to finish this selection of tunes because I don't know that I can write like this kind of music anymore. And I thought I'd finish it up before I continued to rewrite the same record over and over. So hopefully it'll come to me and I'll be able to get it going.
Are you one of these painters who can't stop with the painting? Is it hard for you to walk away?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little bit like that.
Most people who are artists would say they are like that.
Yeah, I could sit here and keep tweaking it, but nowadays it's like a zeitgeist to say just put it out. Don't sit there and tweak it. Don't sit there and try to fix every little thing. Just put it out. Put the next one out. Because people aren't going to hear that stuff on their phones and blah blah blah. But I like to keep it going. Every time I re-listen to something, I hear something I could change or fix.
Well, we're waiting for it, Johnny. I thought it would have been a great stocking stuffer, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But people like. What's that?
I really want to get it finished too, just so I could have it done.
people do like happy music in the spring, so maybe we can get that in the spring. Georgia asked, "Where is Bitsy, my cat?" She's actually sitting right next to me, but she's sleeping, and I don't really want to bother her. But she's right here, and she appreciates all the contributions to the Kibble Fund. Yeah, and she's here. Bitsy has a scar on her nose like mine for some reason. It's like a stigmata, or she she's got she's feeling for me, and she has it. I did discuss this already. Halloween ends a little bit. It's on the Peacock. If you guys like the Peacock, you can go on there. You can watch this movie. Halloween ends. It's in theaters as well. I don't think it's the worst Halloween movie. There was a new plot to it. Most people say they hate it because it's cool to hate it. I liked it, and they have a lot of tributes to the original Halloween. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's better than the second Halloween, and it's better than anything Rob Zombie's ever done. And you have to remember the Halloween movies are supposed to be a little stupid. Most of these movies we've talked about are dopey. We like them because they were bad, and they bring back memories. So sometimes you got to, I stuttered these days, suspend belief. And it's the same with cartoons. Sometimes things that we loved as kids, like now, if you watch H.R. Puff and stuff, you'd have to be high to watch it, which I usually am. Okay, let's see. And then candy corn is the best Halloween candy. Jav. But I'm enjoying some candy corn as we celebrate Halloween. I was thinking about, I was thinking about Halloween specials, and I was thinking about Paul Lynn. Do you remember Paul Lynn?
I'm dressed like him right now.
Yeah, he was a lot like or Charles Nelson Riley, but they would wear these big gay glasses, and I was thinking of the. You do kind of have the jacket though. I was thinking about Paul Lynn. He had a Halloween special. Do you remember this?
I don't know if I remember the Halloween special.
I haven't watched it in a while, but his special guests he had on Kiss, a little band called Kiss, and he had, I think her name is Margaret Hamilton. She was the Wicked Witch, and she was in the Wicked Witch costume from The Wizard of Oz, and I think it was fabulous. But anyway, a lot of people enjoyed this. There was also the Star Wars holiday special for Christmas. Do you remember that?
Yeah. And
that was pretty bad, but a piece of history nonetheless. Oh, I see. Adrienne Barbeau was in Back to School as Rodney's wife. Okay, that's the connection. Gotcha. I don't think she shows her tits in that one, but okay. Yeah, Kiss Paul in 1976. Great program and available online or where Kiss sells stuff. I'm sure Kiss is selling. They probably don't have the rights to it. Witchy Pooh, of course, recently passed away from. She was in H.R. Puff and stuff. Witchy Pooh. Johnny Davis feels like it's absolutely impossible to put out a good horror film in the old culture we live in now. I don't know. Oh, here's a Kardashian question from Jeffrey Smith. He would like to know who we bang out of the Kardashians. I'm not sure Johnny even knows who they are, which he should be proud. But I can do this. I would bang Kim Kardashian. She's the most famous. I don't want to have all those little Kanye kids running around the house. So just bang her and get out of there. I get rid of the Courtney one. She's the fat one. I mean, excuse me. You can't say that anymore, can you?
I don't know anymore.
No, Chloe. I get rid of Chloe. I'm not a fan of her. She's the one that they think is O.J. Simpson's kid. And then I would end up marrying the Kourtney Kardashian. She likes the white guys, but she's now with Travis Barker from the Blink 182. Anyway, that's my answer. Johnny, you don't know Kardashians, do you?
Yeah, I know a little bit.
Could you pick an order like that?
Okay, I think. Which one are we banging? Kendall?
Oh, well, listen, they weren't in the list, but that would make it easier. If we could get the the Kendalls and the Kylie. And I can tell you right now, Kylie by far is the richest of all of them. Johnny, every airport we're in,
Oh, I
she's
know.
a vending machine of that fucking makeup.
Yeah.
No, that's changing the whole game, because then we just go with those two. The Jenner kids, they had a much better dad or mom, dad, or whatever Caitlyn is.
Oh.
If you had to pick between Kim, Courtney, and Chloe, what do you do?
Okay. Let's see. Kim, Courtney, or Chloe? Kim, Courtney, or Chloe? Okay, Chloe would be kill.
Right, that's what I said.
Kim or Courtney? I guess you'd have to marry Kim.
Yeah, but then you have Kanye's kids running around. And then that means Ye would be in your fucking parking lot.
No, he has a restraining order against
That's true, but he seems like the type who would break it.
But she'd probably be good for that, for the marriage part.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess you bang the other one.
Yeah, I'm flipping it, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's going to work out.
It may not. Paul DeMarco's a late. He says, go Linda Blair all the way. Bill Shapiro saying Courtney's a second. And everybody's got Robert's just enjoying it. JB loves the Buffalo 66 poster in the kitchen. Chris, you have good taste. Excuse me, JB, you have good taste, because Johnny and I talk Buffalo 66. Most of the times we're on the road. We're bored out of our minds. We're definitely the only two people who've seen that movie. I saw it in the theater.
You've met him.
And I met him and kind of worked with him. We had a little bit of a relationship. I was working. I owned a company that had a booth at the AVN, the Adult Video News. I am an AVN award winner, and I owned the rights to these movies that Tracy Lords was in, but was edited out of. Obviously, I didn't make those movies. Anyway, Rick Rubin comes over. I didn't recognize him. I didn't know what the fuck Rick Rubin looked like. Now I feel stupid. And he talked to me, and he introduced me to Vincent Gallo. And Vincent Gallo told me that he wanted to make adult movies, and he also, and he said, and when I told him I won an AVN award, he said, I want to win an AVN award. And he's very passionate. Have you seen my movie, The Brown Bunny? Have you seen it? I get a blowjob in this fucking movie. And he was really like, he's right. He goes, I should win an AVN award. And he said, we should work together. You help me. I'm going to direct it. I don't want any money. I don't want any credit. I just want my AVN award. And he was serious. And he asked me to find him a movie called Water Power here in the United States, but it came out in Germany at the name The Enema Bandit. And I went and found him a copy of it. I couldn't get him the copy with, as he said, the brown. And he wanted the foreign version. But I got him. Yeah. And it starred an actor named Jamie Gillis. It's a great movie. The concept of the movie is filmed in New York City. This is when Adult was on the East Coast. And Jamie Gillis is in Times Square. It looks like kind of Taxi Driver. It has that feel, shot on film. And Jamie Gillis looks out his windows, and when he sees women having affairs or becoming intimate with people when they're not married, he gets very upset about it. And he decides that he's going to break into their houses and give them enemas to get spirits out of them. He goes, yeah, I know. It sounds right. And he goes to a club and he learns about how to administer enemas. And he realizes that's how you get the bad out of people. And then he forces them at gunpoint to take enemas, which now you could not do in cinema. But anyway, I did. And then we talked about bowling and other things. But yeah, Vincent Gallo is one of the most original. And he was also very good friends with Johnny Ramone, but they fought so much that they had to stop being friends. Thank you. Imagine that. Thank you so much for your super chat. Best concert you've seen, and as a follow-up, Olivia Junation. That sounds like something Kanye would say. Olivia Junation, John and Greece. Indy, I don't know what that means. Maybe Johnny Monaco speaks that language. Follow up, Olivia Junation, John and Greece. Any idea what she's saying? I mean, he gave us $5, and I'm happy, but.
I mean, I think you're supposed to be saying Olivia Newton-John.
Okay. Oh, like, all right. Well, let's talk about the best. Well, hold on. First of all, they are saying that Chloe is the daughter of OJ. Anyway, um, favorite concert you've seen, Johnny Monaco?
Oh boy, I don't know anymore. I look back at my whole life and I'm like, is been paying attention at all?
Hmm.
I don't remember. I mean, earlier on, I've seen Rush and Billy Squire, and I saw, I think UFO with Michael Shaker. I don't. It's going back a ways. I don't think I could pick like one. There, a lot of people can. It's wasted on me. I don't know.
I probably could. I just don't remember. Like, yeah, as you get older, you forget about these things. You get so busy remembering the guy from WKRP allegedly molesting Dudley in the bathroom, and you forget concerts. I was fortunate to see some great things. I don't know if they were my favorites, but some of my favorite memories is my father took me to see the Grateful Dead at Madison Square Garden. I got my first contact high. It was the real Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia and Phil Lesh and those types. And he also took me to see Jefferson Airplane, and my mother went too, at Radio City Music Hall. And this was with Grace Slick. This was the real deal. And at the time, it might have been wasted on me. But as I've gotten older, um, these are great memories I share. I would say my favorite concert of all time is the Ramones. I was very fortunate to see the Ramones a few times, and to think that I'd never see that band again in the history of it, and how much it meant to me, I would have to probably say that was my favorite. But I've seen crazy things. I've been fortunate to be at little, Johnny, we're in the industry. Sometimes you get invited to some pretty cool things. We could have seen Duran Duran tonight.
Yeah, could have went and saw that. I don't know.
We chose to do this show for the people.
I just didn't have it in me.
I don't know what this says, but I'm going to click on it. I was in that bus station with the out-of-order bathrooms. I had to zig-zag up the whole block, desperate to piss, and it turned into a huge, big thing. Then 6 months later, so Buffalo 66, relating to the first scene in the movie. Jason, if you can interview Vito Bratta, you break the internet. That's probably true, but it's not going to happen. Because he is, he's under Eddie Trunk's control. Eddie Trunk is the only person who can speak to him, and if he's going to talk to anyone, he's going to Eddie Trunk. And when the bill comes, they're going to go Dutch. Let's see here. Craig W. said his favorite show was Faster Pussycat at the Glasgow Barrowland.
Oh, God.
Good gig, second album. Yeah, but it was at least he saw the real Faster Pussycat. This is not the bullshit that's out there now. Here's a Susie. I like when the ladies play along. Stevie Nicks, Joan Jett, or Lita Ford. Okay, this one's not that hard. I think we can do this. We're gonna marry, kill Stevie Nicks, Joan Jett, or Lita Ford.
Okay. Well,
this is tricky. One of them definitely isn't interested in what we got.
I'm gonna kill Lita Ford.
Jesus, Johnny, language. All right, so
I would.
Okay.
I guess I would have to marry Joan Jett.
I think Joan Jett's probably really cool. I mean,
I think she'd be better, easier. Stevie Nicks I'd probably have to she's been drinking wine again. And, go sleep it off. I wish I never married you. Well, yeah. Throwing a
record you could write. You could write.
Fuck Bette Midler.
You could write the follow-up to Rumors with her.
I do love that song. Yeah, maybe I guess maybe switch those. Maybe if we were to write a lot together, maybe Stevie Nicks, and then me and Joan Jett would just have awkward sex.
If you watch this channel, please subscribe. I interviewed a woman named Kim Rossler, who is a bass player in Black Flag, and she banged Joan Jett, and she describes it on this show. So go back and watch some old interviews and find out what it's like to bang Joan Jett. I will tell you that both of them were under the age or influence. I don't know, maybe both. I think in that case, I'm going to marry Joan Jett. We could sit around, drink beers, watch the ball game, maybe arm wrestle, scratch, spit, do the things that fellas do. So I think I would be with Joan Jett, and I think I would bang Stevie Nicks, and Lita Ford. I'd have to let her go. Somebody added Chrissy Hind in there, but that's a whole nother game. Here's somebody who wants to play with older folks. That's fine. We can do this. It's Halloween, by the way. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you for joining me and Johnny. We've been planning this for months. The truth is we had nothing else going on. Cher, Ann Wilson, and Grace Slick. Oh, Jesus. Getting tough.
Come on. This game is a terrible game. Cher, Grace. Who? What?
Grace Slick. She built the city on rock and roll.
Ooh.
She's got to be 100.
And Pat Benatar was the other one?
No, Ann Wilson. She's the fat one. This is tough. Here's the trick to this. You marry Grace Slick because she ain't got long. You know what I mean? And then you inherit the white pill music, the white rabbit, or whatever the fuck it's called. You know that song.
Yeah. Go Ask Alice.
Yeah, the Go Ask Alice song.
One pill makes you.
Imagine that voice. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Can you please bring me my tea time? And can I have some of that lamb?
She's going to ask you for her teeth, not tea.
Get your own food. I keep telling you, did you want something to order it? I don't use DoorDash. I like to pick up my food myself. Go Ask Alice.
You think she's got one of those cancer kazoos that she puts up her throat? You think that's what she sings to that? I will have a real shine.
I think that's how she talks to everybody. Will you please go to bed now? I'm sick of talking to you. I don't know. I probably would kill her. I
put the pillow over her for sure.
What are the other two?
Well, we're down to Cher and Ann Wilson.
Oh, easy. I would I would bang.
This is tough because one of them you got to spend the rest of their life with.
Oh. Well, we all know Cher's going to be alive for another 100 years. Mm-hmm. She was looking pretty good too. And maybe she'd like me because I remind her of a famous skier.
I think Ann Wilson is one of those elder abuse people. I think she beats up her husband or something. Someone in the chat can tell us. This is tough. I like the other Wilson, the one who married the Seattle guy, but I don't know. Yeah. Sure. Which one are you marrying? You marrying the?
I have to marry Cher.
I think so too.
If nothing else, just to reenact some of those earlier songs.
Yeah.
And then I guess I would have to be like, she'd be like, "Get in here, it's time. I'm coming."
Yeah.
I'll be in there in a minute. Just get ready to wash that.
Hold on. I'd love to talk about this forever, but Indie Cult has a super chat, and super chats are how we survive. For 3 weeks, I was recovering from cancer surgery. I couldn't make any money. So thank God Indie Cult has questions for Johnny that not one person is going to understand but him. Johnny, I know you mentioned You're My Favorite Thing to Do is a great Donnie V song. I think I'm actually the one who mentioned that. Johnny does think that too, but I brought it up because I really enjoy it. Do you like Breaking Me Down and Fly off of Beautiful Things?
Yeah, there isn't one song I don't like off of that album. I think I like Breaking Me Down a little better.
Johnny, I brought in things from my storage unit in my house. I have my CD collection. It's right off to the right of me here. And I was thinking I got to get rid of some of these CDs, but Donnie V gave me like every one of his CDs, and he sketched.
Really?
Yeah, and he sketched himself on each one of them for me by hand.
Something must have been wrong with him that day.
Yeah. and he does the sketch like John Lennon kind of. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I have it here, and it makes me want to listen to those. Anyway, Indie Cult, thank you so much for your support. It does mean a lot. Let's see. I'm trying to, there's a lot of people here. It's a busy night. This was the last second thing. Normally we'd be prepared. Scott calls you Johnny Bono. Jeffrey Smith, unfortunately, is saying that Joan Jett is a lesbian. Oh, Jesus. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, but I mean,
someone enjoyed they enjoyed the great slick bit. And let's see. Okay, so I should point out, though, some of the things that are coming up, more holiday specials. Johnny took part in last year's Christmas special, and we're going to do that again this year.
oh God.
Yeah, and I know it's going to be here before you know it, too. But we have all kinds of guests are going to stop by. We're going to wear our holiday outfits. And I think this year, Johnny and I are going to go to the ice skating rink. We joked about it last year, but we're going to have someone come and film it. We're going to show you what it's like to see us at a holiday party and other. We're gonna take you guys to see all the holiday sites that Las Vegas has to offer and all the fake snow. And also there will be a Toys for Tots fundraiser. So what's going to happen is we'll do a show. You guys will be able to super chat, and all of that money will go towards buying toys. And Johnny and I and we'll go to the store and we'll buy toys for the kids. We'll take it down to the Marines who do the Toys for Tots charity, and some less fortunate children will be able to get a toy this Halloween. So all those things are coming up. We want you Christmas, not Halloween. Halloween's over. Okay, so hold on. I got 2 more super chats. I'm so happy. Thank you, guys. Indie Cult is back. He's got a good one, except I don't. He's asking about Carol Brady, Shirley Partridge, or Donna Reed. Okay, I get it. Well, this is one we have to pick in their day because 2 out of 3 are dead. But so in their day, Donna Reed was really hot. I don't think people realize that. Donna Reed is also in It's a Wonderful Life, and she's smoking hot in that movie. Johnny's looking it up. Carol Brady, or I'm not a big fan of Shirley Partridge. She's alive though, so maybe that is good for something. I'm gonna bang Mrs. Brady, gonna marry Donna Reed, and I'm gonna get rid of Shirley Parker.
I'm gonna get rid of Shirley Parker, and I'm gonna marry. Which one do we bang? Oh, I'm gonna go with Donna Reed.
Yeah, and you're gonna marry Mrs. Brady?
Gosh. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah. I mean, it's a tricky one, but for $5, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, those swimsuits are horrible.
All right, Mark Sanchez, thank you so much for your super chat. It's much appreciated. Guys, saw some of the Wasp concert from Friday. Stage didn't seem too impressive. Did you see any clips of that show? Okay. So I was interested in seeing it. I have not been feeling great. I'm going through a lot of tests to transition, if you will. But I got my glucose monitor on there, and I got this. As you can see, I'm battling. Well, I'm not battling anymore, but I had surgery. So I did not go see Wasp. I considered it for a brief minute. I saw Wasp with Chris Holmes. I can tell you that Chris Holmes and I are negotiating right now for him to come on the show and discuss it, because in the Wasp concert, there is a moment where they offer tribute to the past members. We are going to try to have Tony Richards and Chris Holmes and Randy Piper on the show. I know Randy and I know Chris. I don't know Tony Richards. Obviously, Steve Riley's been on. Johnny Rod's been on. I didn't watch much. I know he did open with a small snippet of the song called Animal Fuck Like a Beast. I think that's exciting. He's a Christian, but it is nice to see that he's doing it. I saw Wasp with Motorhead, a place called Irving Plaza in New York City many years ago. I knew Lemmy because I wrote that movie that he had a part in, co-wrote. and he gave me tickets. Anyway, and I thought that night Motorhead blew Wasp off the stage. I saw Motorhead a lot. I didn't always think they were great. Sometimes I thought they were boring. I'm not a giant Wasp fan of the Blackie. I like the original stuff, like most of us. But I think the microphone stand thing is a little ridiculous that I saw in the pictures. It's called Elvis. The thing has a name. And someone says Wasp is playing to pre-recorded tracks and vocals. And I didn't watch enough, to be honest. I just saw some pictures. I hope to have Blackie on the show. We were negotiating. We were close. And we're going to see what happens. I think if you're a younger person and you've never seen Wasp, yeah, why not go see it? But I don't know. Johnny did not seem that interested when I mentioned it.
I'm sure it's fine. I don't know.
We're getting old.
I never got into it. I mean, I understand it. It's got its place, and people really like it. And I don't know. It just wasn't for me, but it's a lot of parking and stuff.
Yeah, no, going out is a big thing, and sometimes it's just not worth it. JB, you're asking where has Miguel been? Miguel is a world-renowned hot sauce expert and my childhood friend. He's also an actor, and we'll be doing some hot sauce tasting soon. I talked to him the other day, and you'll get to see us react to hot sauces. We tasted the Alice Cooper hot sauce, and it wasn't very good. He has 3 of them. None of them were that good. And anyway, we became viral sensations. It went crazy. They tweeted it. They said that I couldn't handle the hot sauce. It sucked. I don't know. I think I poured too much on. But anyway, Eddie Ojeda, he has the best hot sauce. And it has cherry in it, which is good for gout. And, Johnny, I have the gout now.
Oh, I probably got that too.
It's no good. You don't want it. But I got some medicine laying around here for it. Okay. A lot of people, some people think that Ann Wilson might crush you.
Hilarious.
Possibly. Yeah, he's Christian, so it's now fuck like a priest, not fuck like a beast. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm also not going to listen to that.
There's some noise out. Sounds like fireworks.
Big celebration, Halloween.
It really is. Either there's a 21 gun salute or a firing squad, or there's some fireworks not too far from me.
There's a 7-Eleven.
It could just be my 7-Eleven. I did get a free pizza there today. It was very good. For as far as good as a 7-Eleven pizza can be. Indy Cult is the very kind, and you should all learn from him. He says for both as players, better bass player. Entwistle from The Who or McCartney. This is an easy one for me, but you want to answer first?
Well, it all depends on what you consider better, but I mean, I would go with Paul McCartney. But I mean, the other guy's probably more technical.
I would go with McCartney as well. Neither one is a style that I would necessarily play, but Paul McCartney has these walking bass lines. I think the guy is incredibly, people underrated in a sense. I mean, he's a Beatle, but I think people realize he plays all over the neck, and he's got these great walking bass lines, and a lot of the stuff he was doing, was ahead of its time or influenced by black people who he stole it from. But anyway, I would say McCartney too. Not to say that Entwistle didn't play great parts, but his basses were goofy looking too.
Yeah,
those buzzards. They were called buzzards. I don't like people with strange looking basses.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get fired.
Yeah, absolutely. Decline 2 was a masterpiece. I heard Odin still can't cash that $1 million check. Well, the guitar player for Odin is on the road with Wasp right now. He's in Armored Saint. Jeff Duncan, nice guy, friend of mine. He's been on this show, and so has John Bush, the singer, who's also an Anthrax. They've both been on the show. Both nice guys. And Armored Saint's got some fun metal songs. They also did a song from the Hellraiser 2 soundtrack, which is fun. And they were in the movie with Pinhead. How cool is that? They talk about that. So if you haven't seen my old interviews, go check them out. Jeffrey says, no Chris Holmes, no Wasp. I tend to agree. We're going to find out when we talk to him about all those things. Yes, Chris Holmes has a documentary out called Mean Guy. That is correct. So you guys can learn a little bit from him. Let's see here. And we'll wrap this up soon. I know you guys have been here all night, and Johnny and I both have, obviously a lot to do tonight. It was fun. I have my Halloween candle lighting here. This is from Bath and Body Works, where I shop. This one's called Pumpkin Carving. I don't really smell anything, but whatever. And then, I've got all kinds of Halloween stuff back here. Like my Boris Karloff has the Mummy lunchbox, right? I mean, who doesn't have that? And then I have Frankenstein.
I like that. That's cool.
Frankenstein lunchbox. Yeah, that's my Boris Karloff side. And then if you like the creature from the Black Lagoon, I have the creature lunchbox right there. And then, trying to see what else. We got Boris Karloff Frankenstein.
Cool.
Toy there, yeah. Trying to show some fun stuff for Halloween. And I got my plush buddies up here, Dracula and the creature. Some of those. I have the full set, but I figured I'd show these guys. And they're sitting up there.
1, 2.
Yeah, they're counting. And this filter that I'm using doesn't allow you to see it, but I have the giant Universal Monster stamps up there and some other things, trying to create a Halloween mood, even though Halloween is almost over. It's kind of sad. So because Christmas is going to be here tomorrow, I have my Michelle got me this. She knows what to get me. This is a Marty Moose eggnog candle, and it smells fantastic. And yeah, I'm decided that tomorrow I take down all the Halloween and I start Christmas. Tomorrow starts Christmas season.
Oh God.
60 days.
Oh.
You do hear people say that Halloween, I love Halloween every day. In my case, it's kind of true. There's monsters on the wall everywhere all the time. And so I'm looking forward to the next holiday. Okay, let's see what people are talking about. I saw a video that said Red Fox's house was haunted. Do you know about that? I've seen those videos too. And back in the day, a current affair had one of those ghost people. It was a little bunch of bullshit. They were trying to sell the house for some money. Johnny and I pass that house all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever we go, and I always yell out the window, "You big dummy!" But if you want to see my videos of Red Fox's house, I do go into the backyard and show you where his pool was. You can no longer do that. They have closed it off. So that video was quite rare. And so the goal is to do more of those type of videos, travel vlogs, if you will. The upcoming tour diary of mine, you'll see where they filmed Vacation, Karate Kid, where the Doors made their records, all kinds of stuff like that. I would like to do more of that. Whamsy, which I believe is Andrew Ridgely, he says, fun fact, the 5th video ever played on TV was Little Susie's On the Up by PhD, the song Tesla covered on their debut. That's a fun fact for sure. I never would have got that. Very interesting. Johnny Davis says that I'm a loser and don't you go to parties, but tomorrow I can tell everybody I went to a Halloween party with rock stars. Well, that's very nice. Yeah, well, this was a great Halloween party. And, this internet thing is really for misplaced people and, people who are a little antisocial. And I don't just mean me and Johnny, but it's good to chat and to hang out and to do those kind of things. And so I think it was a fun night. Otherwise, we would have, I would have just been sitting here crying in my cotton candy or candy corn. And giving myself a diabetic coma, but instead we got to all spend some time together. And I want to make sure that you all realize that the show is back in business. I'm debuting my new nose. I went under the knife, and it still looks like the same big nose I've had before. But anyway, brand new interviews coming up this week. I am recording with Brian Forsythe of Kicks, Paul Taylor of Winger, and Alice Cooper, and Steve Perry. Steve Perry's keyboard player also. And then I'll also have Dean Roberts from Leatherwolf. And then we're discussing Chris Holmes. We're talking about Jip Casino from Hanoi Rocks. Some more members of Hanoi Rocks to come on here and give me the credit I deserve, to let the people in the audience know that I am the reason Hanoi Rocks reunited. I'm saying it right now. They say it too, but people in the audience, they don't want to believe it. People get angry. Johnny, people have said to me, they don't watch my show anymore because I think I'm too important. And I'm sorry that they feel that way.
I don't understand. People are crazy.
Johnny, have you heard of a place called Ottawa, Illinois?
Yeah.
Is there? I don't know the significance of Ottawa, but Jeffrey happens to live in Ottawa.
Yeah, I think I've played there. Trying to see where I would have played. I don't know exactly. I'm sure I've been through there before and have played. It's nice.
Indie Cult, you have been so kind and generous. You ask questions about Johnny that not even his mother knows the answers to, and we are so happy. Johnny, we're going to eat good because Indie Cult wants to know some stuff about you. Johnny, besides the fact I'll Take You As You Are is the best song ever, according to my wife, what is your favorite Johnny Monaco song? Set Your Heart. Not sure what that means, but
he's asking me if that was one of my favorites.
Oh,
if the Set Your Heart.
That's a tough question to ask an artist. You hear the people say a lot of the times that they're all my baby. You know what I mean? And it's hard to pick a favorite. I don't know if you feel that way, Johnny. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. No, I don't know that I have a favorite. That's a good question. I mean, sometimes you like a song because it's catchy, but that's not always a favorite. Or sometimes there's like parts to it that you like that move around. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm selling it, but there's some of the newer ones that I'm about to put out have some moments that I really like. But off of like overrated, I mean, yeah.
Johnny, what's a song that if somebody maybe didn't know your music that you could recommend that they go listen to?
I think Wrong Crowd or
I like that.
Tall, Thin, and Pretty.
I don't know that one as well.
I'll Take You As You Are. I don't know. LA Vacation.
I know that one. I think listen, for those of you who don't know, some people are just tuning in randomly. Johnny's had a successful solo career, and he plays. I think you play kind of power pop music among other styles. But I think if you like Elvis Costello and Cheap Trick and the Beatles and that kind of thing, but it's some heavier stuff too. It's got some punk stuff too. You can listen to Johnny's music, and then he also fronted the band Enough's Enough for a lot of years. He played lead guitar in that band for a lot of years, and then Johnny was also one of members of LA Guns for a little bit, and he was in something called Tantric, which is a band that is made up of famous children of musicians occasionally, and now he's in the Stephen Pearcy band where that I tour manage, and you can see Johnny and I on the road. And if you do, feel free to come over and give us a super chat. We'll accept super chats on the road as well, just by putting a little cash in our hands. But actually, Johnny and I have met a lot of great people, and we've hung out after every single show. We went to see whoever else is playing, and one night in some city, we went and saw Steve Miller. One night, we saw Alanis Morissette lip sync in the rain. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
And all of those things are coming up. You'll see all of that in future tour diaries. But Johnny and I we watched Striper several times, and we've had a lot of great times, and we'll have a lot more. The next time you can catch us on the road is if you're in the Illinois area. You can come to a place called the Vixen Theater, right?
Yeah.
December 16th. I can't really tell everybody all the tour dates for next year, but I can say that there's a lot of shows in California. Some of them are already out, officialstephenpearcy.com, but there's some other ones coming. There's some shows in, I don't know, all over the place. I better not say too much about let's see what other folks are saying. Says it's Stephen Pearcy played in Ottawa in 2002. Okay. Well, now we're going to be in wherever the Vixen Theater is. I forgot what you call it.
McHenry.
McHenry. That's right. McHenry.
It used to be called the McHenry Theater.
Right. Named after John McHenry.
Which I would think you'd want to keep the name of the town, but, Vixen, it's a little risque.
It's a strange name. Yeah, it's a strange name for a club. Do they show X-rated movies when the bands aren't playing?
They don't show those anymore in theaters. You just watch it here on your iPad.
Yeah, that's a bummer, because back in the day, if you wanted to watch pornographic goods, you had to get your hands on a VHS tape and rewind and fast forward. It could get damaged. And I had an adult movie around here that I made. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, Johnny. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. We used to have a theater in Chicago called the McVickers Theater. And that was a dirty movie place. You'd have to go down there, go all the way down to the bad neighborhood, and sit there with a bunch of masturbators and criminals.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know how I would be into it being so communal.
You play in bands with cuckolds. Ask them.
I mean, it'd be tough to sit in a row of people and you're looking over it. Well, I guess you wouldn't look. If you're focused, you're looking ahead. Something to be said about it. But it just seems a little, it's not really for me.
Pornographic movies used to come in a big box like this. This is a big, giant, because they don't want you to steal them. And don't try to report this. Everybody's covered in this picture. This is a movie called Charlie's Devils. It was a parody of Charlie's Angels. It spawned the sequel, Charlie's Devils 2, The Next Position. And I wrote both of these movies. I really directed them, but a woman named Bianca, who was famous, took the credit. I also make a cameo in these movies. I keep my clothes on, you'll be happy to know. But I played the Crispin Glover part in those movies. But I started writing for Trauma, and then I wrote these adult features. If you super chat, these movies could be yours. Anyway, I brought them home from my storage unit, and one of these movies was nominated for Best Group Sex Scene, and I believe it was 6 people at the same time. And Johnny, I'll tell you a funny story. This was on Charlie's Devils 2. Let me see if I can remember these ladies' names. Drew Barrymore, of course, plays Drew Barrymore. Cindy Cox, I don't remember her that well. Coral Sands, I knew her. We were kind of friends. But Kerry Windsor, she was a friend of mine. And this girl, Mia Smiles. Anyway, they did a scene with a bunch of girls. These are not the girls that I'm talking about. But anyway, one of them shit the bed. She didn't do a good enough enema after dinner. They served. I think she had Mexican food. She had an accident. Brent Muscat of Faster Pussycat was with me on the set. He was a little nervous. I don't think it was his thing, if you know what I mean. And he left right before that happened. Thank God, he would have been sick. A lot of people were getting sick. And she asked me if she could excuse herself to clean up. And of course, I granted permission. And then when she left, everybody was trying to clean the stain out of the sheets. And it was a moment that not everybody experiences in their life. I don't think I've ever told that story to millions and millions of viewers. Someone's asking if you've ever seen my movies. Johnny has not, but I'm going to send him some after this, so he can crank out his VHS player.
Yeah, I'll put it in the VHS player over there.
Now, a lot of people don't realize the reason we have VHS or had VHS is that the adult industry decided that that's the format they were going to use. Betamax and VHS were neck and neck on which would be the format. Hollywood movies only put out so many movies a week. Adult movies put out 100 movies a week. So the adult industry went with VHS, and Hollywood followed suit, and that is a true piece of history. Craig says it's cool that I worked at Trauma. I actually haven't worked in Trauma, although Johnny and I think, have some. I worked for Trauma, makers of the Toxic Avenger, and one day I'll do a whole video talking about some of the crazy stories I have from Trauma. Bill says I effing rule. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Mark says I Can Only Believe is a great Johnny song.
That's good.
Johnny says thank you. Will you be doing any package tours next year? Okay. That's in the works, possibly. There's talk of a cool package thing, but I don't know. There are no plans on Rat to come to Canada right now. And we had to cancel, so sorry about that. It says here, the porn name, your middle name and the street you grew up on. That is the one that I go by. I believe you should pick your middle name and the street you grew up on. Sometimes people pick at pet names and stuff. That's bullshit. This is the way. Now, that is not the adult name I used. My adult film name was Spencer Benedict. Where did I get that? I got it from an episode of The Odd Couple. There's a couple episodes of The Odd Couple. There's one where they accidentally make a stag movie. Felix directs it. And then there's another one where Felix takes nude photos for Playboy magazine, and somebody comes to the door, delivery man, and he says, "We have a delivery here for Spencer Benedict." Oscar says, "Spencer Benedict, who's that?" Felix says, "That's me." Oscar says, "Spencer Benedict," and Felix says, "Well, you don't think I'd use my real name for nudies now, did you?" And I said, "That's my porno name, Spencer Benedict," and that's where I got it. I was on a show called Love Line with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. And Dr. Drew told me I write the stuff that people fast forward past. And then he called me Spencer when I was leaving. Okay, so anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. But I can't keep talking alone because Indie Cult has $5 for us, and that is always going to get my attention. Jason, who was your favorite member of the Ramones? Did you talk politics with Johnny? And then other than getting Johnny and Donnie, CJ would be great. Okay. My favorite member of the Ramones was Dee Dee Ramone. Dee Dee Ramone wrote all the best songs. Dee Dee Ramone made me want to play the bass, and he was just, to me, he was the cool one. I never spoke about politics with Johnny. That's why we got along. Always talked to him about the Yankees. I never forget when the Yankees got eliminated in the playoffs one year. He told me, he was so upset, and he says, "I need to go home and I need to assess what went wrong, what we can do." And you would have thought he owned the team. He was so passionate about the Yankees, and he was hurt. And we talked about all those things. We talked about Ramones, talked about music, we talked about guitar playing. We had a lot in common. He loved to collect autographed memorabilia, as did I, and we went to do that, but did not talk about politics. And then, I think CJ probably will be on this show at some point. I've been kind of waiting, but if you like Ramones, we've had Monty Melnick on this show, who talks about the tour manager of the Ramones, tells some great stories. There's been other Ramones related people on here. Jean Beauvoir, who played some ghost guitar, the Ramones, wrote some songs. He's on here. A lot of good stuff. Okay. What's in Johnny's fridge? It's a fair question. Johnny, how's the fridge?
It's not looking good. I struggle with this dinner thing. I have water, 2 waters, and a little bit of a passion fruit and drink, and milk, and 5, I believe, pressed drinks.
You drink whole milk, Johnny?
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of milk, but I mean, I put it in the coffee.
And the pressed drinks, how's that going? I want to get on that, but it's not easy.
Yeah, those were a gift to me.
Yeah.
So I've been trying them, and They're really good. I mean, it has all the nutrients of like, vegetables. So instead of eating vegetables, they're drinking it kind of.
Yeah, it's better to eat them because you get the
Oh, I'm
fiber.
sure. I'm
But
sure of that.
listen, you can eat 50. You just ate 50 pieces of celery. It's a lot harder than.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I mean, I've been drinking those, and there's really nothing in my refrigerator. It's ridiculous. It's I used to have more stuff in there. I just go to restaurants or I don't know. I cook sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way. Johnny and I have this disease that you sit and think about things, where to go eat, and there could be an hour discussion, and then I look at the Uber Eats. I pick all the restaurants, then I add it to the cart, and then I decide I don't fuck it, and I usually go to one of the same places. John and I we dine at the Cosmo because we're very hip, cosmopolitan type people,
Mm.
and we go there, and you can come see us there if you're in Las Vegas. Um, Michael says, "Hey, Jason, Johnny, what's Johnny's favorite song on the Paraphernalia disc? Paraphernalia, Malia? What's it called, Johnny?
Paraphernalia.
Paraphernalia.
Uh, I guess Baby You're the Greatest.
That's an enough record, right?
Yeah. I think that one's good. Believe in Love. I like those two.
All right. Well, I'm going to listen to those. Jeffrey, thank you very much. Indie Cult, you are too kind. Indie Cult, you're the reason why we do this show, because then we can eat. For Johnny's $8 grapes and 1 Pabst Blue Ribbon. Okay, Johnny, he's taking care of you, so you can stock the refrigerator.
Oh man, yeah. I have not bought those grapes in a while, and I've stopped drinking beer because fat.
Yeah, Johnny, you better start getting in shape. I mean, I haven't seen you in a while, but we're going to be out amongst the people.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
Yeah, I have no energy for this stuff.
This time of year is usually the time where we lose our energy.
Is it?
Yeah. Once the
Mm.
days start getting dark earlier, and it
Yeah.
kind of starts blaming the Jews. This time of year, it's so tired.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's something to do with the sunlight.
Yes, that's for sure. I'm going to get a light in my house that imitates the sun. Poor Jason has to read idiot comments of people who can't spell it right correctly. That's all right. I enjoy it, and I'm happy to try to decipher through people's comments, like this one that I have no idea what Jeffrey's saying. What would be your favorite? Favorite being one word. Johnny, you want to take a shot at this? Your favorite?
Of what?
Jeffrey, I think maybe you hit send too soon, but that's okay. Hey, I hope everyone's wearing their Halloween costumes at home, as Johnny and I are here. I'm right. I've changed out of it, but I am wearing the 1978.
Oh, it says favorite song to cover.
Oh, well, where the hell do you see that? I don't get that part.
Is that the
Here
one
it
you're
is.
talking about?
Yeah, and I got it now. What would be your favorite song to cover, Johnny?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many. I mean, I play cover tunes all the time. I like doing all the Beatle tunes. I brought Jet to the band with Chip and them a while back, and now he's playing it all over the place and put it out, re-recorded it and everything. And I used to like that one. We rocked it.
Well, there you go. He gave you your answer. I should mention I used to like to cover songs by a band called the Dead Kennedys, and tragically their drummer passed away, D.H. Peligro. He died just the other day. He took a fall in his home and had a head injury. These things freak me out. Where did the guy fall on? He was 62. I will point out, for those who don't know, the drummer for the Dead Kennedys is an African American guy, and which was really cool because a lot of people at the time thought that maybe there were skinhead bands or they had skinhead fans. And Dead Kennedys did have a song called "Nazi Punks Fuck Off." And anyway, but rest in peace to D.H. Peligro. Johnny, I don't know about you, but I obsess on this. I have to find what he fell off of so that I can make sure I don't fall off of it. Are you like that?
I mean, I'd like to know stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I just, and then this Pelosi, they broke into Pelosi's house and they had a hammer fight. I need to know all the details in case somebody breaks into my house and wants to have a hammer fight.
Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah. Have you heard this?
I saw something about it. I didn't understand the joke, but now I get it.
She wasn't home, but her husband was. He's 82 years old. The man broke into the home. The man believed that the election was rigged. He also believed he had a few rebellious, scandalous things, and he wanted to discuss them with Nancy Pelosi. So he broke into her home and had a fight with her 82-year-old husband. I wonder how you break into someone's house so easily, someone who's famous and people know where they live. But they were fighting over a hammer when the police entered the home, and Mr. Pelosi lost hold of the hammer and then was struck over the head. His skull was fractured. I don't know if maybe Mr. Pelosi should have owned a gun, because I think that could have ended this situation. And I think he could have also had a better alarm on his house. They show the back door and say, these rich folks, they have these glass doors. Well, what do you think is going to happen? You can't just have glass doors. Lunatics are everywhere.
Yeah, poor guy. Someone breaks him with a hammer in here, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
A hammer is such a terrible weapon, too. It's like just thinking of bludgeoning somebody with a hammer just makes me wince. I don't think I could do it.
Well, as Bruce Lee would say, your longest weapon is your leg, and your leg is longer than the arm holding the hammer. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Pelosi should have a mean sidekick, but if he did, that hammer probably would never have gotten near him. But everybody has their...
So in your house, that's different. You're fighting from a distance where you're at 10, 15 feet. That's why they say a shotgun is the best self-defense for home defense.
Well, he would have had if he. Now, listen, we don't know the details. Maybe this guy broke in and startled him. Maybe Mr. Pelosi was up and jacking off to the Robin Bird show or something late at night, and then this guy stumbled in. It happened at 2:30 in the morning. He should also maybe have a safe room in his house. I think that these rich people have a safe room. He could go into this room and lock the door.
Right.
Instead of at 82 years old, he shouldn't be fighting with a guy who was a huge guy over a hammer. Anyway, I'm sure this is boring, people. Okay, Indie Cult, thank you so much. You're setting the trend for everybody, which I appreciate. I just want people to know, Set Your Heart at Self-Destruct by Johnny and Mary Jane is a Punk is the best cardio songs, are the best cardio songs. So, Johnny, you have a song called Set Your Heart at Self-Destruct?
Yeah.
What record is that on?
That's off of Overrated.
Okay, so we should listen to that. And Mary Jane is a Punk is a song that is on my album, Sin City Rejects, and it's called The Death of a Nation. And so, thank you for listening to both of our music. It's an honor for my music to be even in the same sentence as the great Johnny Monaco. Craig says he liked the Seahawks album, was sad the guy died, loved his girlfriend, Inger Lore. That part I don't know, but Frankie Wilsey, he said he'd come on here. I don't know, maybe he still will. He was in the Seahawks, and they have some interesting stories. Unfortunately, the answer to why they didn't work out is they were junkies, his words. Okay. See, on a lot of shows, Johnny, people just do a show and talk, and then the comments go by and they talk amongst themselves. And then only the people who drop the big super chats get involved. But, Johnny, we talk to everybody because we're men of the people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that this has been a great Halloween party. I've enjoyed it. We've been here for 2.5 hours just mingling it up. for the Christmas party, I'm going to decorate more, and we're going to plan it in advance, and we'll have clips, and we'll talk about all kinds of fun things. I'm going to probably go watch a little, maybe a horror movie, and or before bed, and then like I said, I'm interviewing Brian Forsythe tomorrow from Kicks. Luckily, I don't have to do that much research. I'm familiar with his career, and that interview will probably air this Friday. Also, new tour diary coming soon. And Scott, we're glad you enjoyed this. I'm glad everybody tuned in. Bill, happy Halloween to you as well. I'm glad that we all got to be part of this. And some of you will watch this tomorrow. Some people watching right now will watch. You know, Johnny, what people do is when this is, it's now going to be on tape. It's going to be, if they call it that, it'll be available, for posterity. But the problem is people watch it and think they're watching with us, and then they go into the comments and they start chatting. And I don't know what they're talking about, because we talked about a lot of shit tonight. And then they also, and they just get mad and say stupid shit. A lot of people do that. And
it's funny.
Craig, you're very welcome. I'm very glad you got to attend our. I'm very glad you got to attend our Halloween party, a very exclusive Halloween party. I tried to set my lighting to be darker, and I don't think I did a very good job. I feel like I'm brighter than ever. I have I have a 55-inch TV here in the living room, and I'm watching it for the first time, Johnny, as we're doing the show. I'm watching us on the TV, and look, your lighting looks good in that suit. It's beautiful.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I feel like I shouldn't sit so close to the camera, though. I hate when
No, it looks fine. It looks a little spooky. You can see the shadows.
I don't think you can say spooky. But when I sit back here, I like it better. Johnny, I like your glasses. This spectacle eyewear guy, he likes you. He makes really good stuff for you. But Johnny, he's made 4 pairs of glasses for Johnny, each more lovely than the next. And then he's like the Harry Potter wand. The glasses pick you. You don't pick the glasses. And this is what I got. I mean, I feel like Starsky and Hutch are going to pick me up later and take me downtown for questions. It's but
I don't mind them. I just think you need one of those walking sticks. I don't mind them.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to have some bad 70s song. My forehead is gigantic with these things on.
I don't mind them. I kind of like them. I'm getting another pair sent to me.
Parking lot. Yeah. With me, he tells me I have to get used to these.
All right.
And I mean, and I told him what I like, and he says, "You're getting these, and you're gonna like it." And so I try it every time we do a show. I put it on for a minute, and I listen to John Denver and listen. We can't leave because Indie Cult is sharing another $5 with us, and I appreciate it. He has a very easy F, marry, incinerate. This is the easiest one ever. Marilyn Monroe, Jane Mansfield, or Hillary Clinton. Obviously, this is in their primes. I'm going to bang Jane Mansfield.
Wow.
Going to marry Marilyn Monroe.
Wow.
And no need for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I guess I could go either. I could flip flop the first two, or
Yeah, I don't know enough about Jane Mansfield as I probably should. I mean, I know she was beautiful. I feel like Marilyn Monroe was really misunderstood. I think she was sad, and I think she had a lonely kind of thing. But I don't think she was like the dumb blonde that she played. And I feel like she would probably be really cool. I feel like Marilyn Monroe was a survivor, been through a lot. Sadly, that probably also killed her, or the Kennedys. But yeah, I'm thinking that's my order. That was a good one. I enjoyed it. That question. Johnny Davis's party was cool and everything, but like next year, could you bring some chicks on dress shit Halloween costumes that's virgins need to see your skin? You have a point. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we will do that. Let's see. And then, of course, comment for my glasses, Charles Nelson Riley. And you look like Kelly from the Bad News Bears with those. And Huggy Bear. I don't want to say this name wrong, but fuck. Fatta can't escape. Fat. He likes the glasses. Vocalizer says maybe you should wear contacts. Louise Brooks, I don't know who that is, but I bet you that's what the person wearing my glasses looks like. I agree. Daniel Carroll, I just want to tell you guys you're very appreciated, and I learned from you guys. Awesome show. I hope you learned something. You learned which old ladies to bang. We're happy to share that knowledge with you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I think. I listen. I think that we're a little bit of we're all in a little bit of a losers club. We're meant to. This is a fun thing. I'll wrap it up a little bit by just expressing what Johnny and I were saying earlier, is that when you're young, Halloween is a lot of fun and you go places. Now, it's also a Monday. Most people celebrate. And Johnny did go to a Halloween party on a Saturday. I went to a pumpkin patch and a hayride thing, and I saw the creature. And so I did my Halloween as well. Oh, I guess the woman with my glasses is from the 20s, and she hated Hollywood. Okay, gotcha. And so as you get older, at least in my case, I'm like Clark Griswold. I want to hold on to holidays in every little bit I can. I overdo it. And that so begins the Christmas season. I will be shopping and buying all kinds of unnecessary Christmas things. I'll have the tree set. I put a giant tree up in my house. And I really I go all out for the holidays because I'm going to be dead soon. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh.
But this thing could blow up or give me at any second. I could die. Or this candy corn. Candy corn is very dangerous, and that could happen. And Johnny's very high up. You never know if he could slip on a banana peel and just you're not going to survive a fall.
Oh God! Don't say that.
He's over the power lines. That's how high his house is. He's higher than the power line. So you've got to enjoy life before you slip and fall and die. That's a lesson that we all should embrace. I don't know the age of the people watching, but we're all on the way to the grave, or cremation or whatever it is that you're looking for, But and this is the positive message that I share with all holiday specials is that sooner or later you're going to die. I mean, that's the only thing that's guaranteed. Taxes are not guaranteed, but death is guaranteed. And so you must. Wayne got his Christmas tree delivered today. Congratulations. And so we have to. We've got Scott is 55. That's the right age to understand what Scott. No offense, it's almost over. You got a little more to look forward to. So try to don't hate the Mariah Carey song. Embrace the Mariah Carey song. I can't wait to hear it every year, and I don't mind it every day. I love it. Johnny, you should play that at your show. Whatever. Do They Know It's Christmas? Whatever it's called.
It's a high one.
Yeah, you would be fantastic. And this is going to be a great year of any Rudolph jokes yet, Jason. I don't do Giuliani material, but glad I beat cancer. Bear cancer. I didn't have bear cancer, but thank you. I hate saying that I beat cancer because I feel like they got to look in there again. But anyway, I'm excited to still be here. Even though I am a cancer survivor, we're still just a second away from having our feet in the grave. You know, death is coming. It. Luckily, I'm a little bit like Mr. Magoo. I just kind of walk through death. Here's a little diabetes. I just keep walking. Here's this. I just keep going. Here's some cancer. But one day, it's all going to be over. We'll talk about Christmas songs another time. That's for another day. But so the point is, we did a little something. And you know what, Johnny? Maybe we'll remember. You remember the Halloween where we went on and we talked to 100 of our closest friends for 3 hours, and we talked and we got to the immortal message that we're all going to die soon, right? And we'll remember this. And at least we did something, because otherwise we would have been looking at the TV, waiting to die, and wondering what is the purpose of life. You know, while the younger women out in our lives are probably out, you know, banging Kanye or whoever, you know. We're sitting here like jerks, just fucking, you know, waiting to die. And I'd be sitting here thinking about questions for the guy from Kicks. But instead, we had a Halloween party. A party. And we entertained people who were stuck at home, who had nothing else to do tonight. And same for people tomorrow who will watch this. And we'll be watching this for all of eternity. And anyway, so I thank you. Johnny, did you have a good time tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just a little tired, maybe. I don't know. I'm just it's fine. Like I said, I always forget. I would feel like I'm missing out on something. And I was just watching, you know, shows and watching Ghost Adventures.
That's
and
good.
I can only take so much of that guy. And yeah, just thought we'd come on and say hello, and hopefully it was eventful for everybody.
Johnny, hold on. I hate to interrupt, but Indie Cult would give a super chat. He would like to know how you rate George Harrison as a player. Best lines?
Well, you know, he's great. I mean, he comes up with all kinds of great stuff. You know, something, I guess that would be really good. One of his favorites, one of my favorites, Savoy Truffle. There's a lot of George Harrison in all the songs that, you know, always makes the song or just makes it all, pulls it in together. But you don't need to hear that from me. That's very obvious.
All right. Well, thank you, Johnny, for answering, and thank you to Indie Cult 777, who is always supportive. And I wanted to say that a lot of people are talking about Christmas songs, and I'm saving that. That's for another show. We still have to get through this Halloween. Us here on the West Coast, we still have 10 more minutes of All Hallows Eve or whatever it's called. I wanted to mention that if you wanted to support the channel in any other ways, you can go into the links in the description. If you go to Whatnot, which is an auction site, you'll get $15 free. You can buy anything you want. They got all kinds of collectibles. It's a great site, and that helps support this channel. You can also join my Patreon and get all kinds of cool things that I'm sitting here going through. I have so much shit to mail out after surgery. I fell apart, but now I'll get to that. And we send you can sign pictures and pics and all kinds of stuff. And you get to watch interviews before everyone else and tour diaries, so you can do that. You should also go visit johnnymonaco.com, where you can get Johnny's tour dates. Johnny has some shows coming up at Aces and Ales through the holiday season. Aces and Ales is a place owned by Kerry King Kelly, the legendary KKK himself, and he's in the Night Ranger, right? He's in the Night Ranger.
Yes.
He's fighting for your right to rock in America. Anyway, he has a place called Aces and Ales with our friend Ryan, and you can see Johnny. All request Johnny. He'll play a really eclectic list of songs, and so if you're in Nevada, go to johnnymonaco.com. Are the dates on there, Johnny?
Yeah, all my show dates are on there.
So you find those dates. You'll find the Stephen Piercy dates that we can announce for now,
Hmm.
and there'll be more of these things. And who knows? Maybe we'll do a meetup with the audience. Yes, it's free. Johnny shows at the Aces and Ales are free, and you can see it. And yes, he streams some of his shows as well. So anyway, yes, make sure you support Johnny, and you can buy some of his music on there as well. Johnny has some cool stuff, and a lot of the fans of the show have gone on there and bought CDs and been happy to watch that. Nice to watch YouTube without adverts every 3 seconds, and that is one of the things about these live streams. You get it uninterrupted, no advertising. The people who watch this in replay have probably already seen 600 advertisements. I wish I could turn those off, but that is what pays the bills, those advertisements. So unfortunately, it's an unnecessary evil, but we do these live shows uh, uh, for you. Okay, I think that Johnny and I are going to resume being depressed until Christmas. We now have a lot of time to sit and reflect. Johnny, is there anything else that you want to say to the viewers or to anyone?
Well, I just hope everybody had a fun time. I know it was, it's just interesting every year. Things change, and this time was a little weird. Last year was a little weird. So, I mean,
Where were you last Halloween, Johnny?
I was here. I had played a show the night before at the Artisan Hotel
Mhm.
with a bunch of young guys, like a band I never met before. They needed somebody to fill in, and it was a last minute thing. So I played that gig, and then I think I was playing at Mandalay Bay the next few days.
What did you do on Halloween? Was it exciting?
I've thought about that. I went back and I looked at my calendar and I didn't see anything written down. So I don't know what I did.
You probably sat there much like tonight.
Yeah.
Johnny, I can't. I would love to say goodbye, but we can't leave just yet because Indie Cult has another a supportive chat, and we need those. But also, he has another game for us to play of F, marry, and get rid of. And this one is probably easy. Monica, Rachel, or Phoebe. These are the Johnny. These are the ladies from Friends. If you didn't know.
Yeah.
Listen, we all know Phoebe's gonna go. At least in my world. Maybe not in Johnny's.
Yeah.
All right, so Phoebe's gone. Now, are you going to marry Courtney Cox or are you going to marry Jennifer Aniston?
I guess Rachel, Mary.
I think so too. I like her. She's probably a lot of fun. Do you know one of her first movies, maybe her first movie ever, was Leprechaun? Speaking of Halloween, Jennifer Aniston got her start in Leprechaun. Rachel Green. She wouldn't even have to change her name if she married me. And then I would bang Courtney Cox. Why not?
Yeah.
I think that I think Aniston is aging better than Cox. I think that she looks good. I mean, listen, they're both attractive. Courtney Cox, remember she was in that Bruce Springsteen video, "Dance in the Dark." That was probably more my age range with her. But anyway, we're going with you know what we're going with. West Coast Ronnie, thank you for watching. Good night from Orange County. Great show for Halloween evening. I'm glad you were able to celebrate with us. All right. Well, we've wrapped this up at least 50 times. There's just so many people here. We're at 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 45 seconds. Lest anyone think this was our longest show. Johnny, I think one time we went 4 hours.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Johnny, I will say you have been such a great addition to this show. I was not sure the direction that it would go. When it started, I did the interviews. I know a lot of people feel like there's too many people doing those interviews. I get that. But I felt like we could do something different. And when Johnny was on as a guest, I found him to be very entertaining. And then we needed a morning guest to come on with me, and Johnny came on. I think that might be the morning we did 4 hours.
Oh, man.
We hardly knew each other. And I thought Johnny was very funny. And then we went and started doing some of the remotes like the custard. I think you guys will enjoy seeing the tour diaries where we're out and about. and some of the hotels and some of the hijinks that we have. I just have to edit faster. I'm not very good at that. If anyone wants to produce the show or any of those things, edit, yeah, please. Anyway, and so now and the shows come around, and I think we have some fun times here. Okay, Joseph says, good night from West Michigan. Thank you very much. Good night from Ottawa. Thank you very much. And Joseph is a longtime listener, first time super chatter. We appreciate the listening and the super chatting. So I hope everybody had a happy Halloween. It's all in good fun and silliness. And again, please support the channel. If there's anyone watching who hasn't subscribed, make sure you do that. I'm kind of waiting for the 3-hour mark because I think there's something cool about saying 3 hours. And I think people say, who the fuck would watch these idiots talk for 3 hours? But you would be surprised. Indie Cult, thank you so much. Craig, good night from Scotland. It's great to see. Only 7 a.m. there. You're starting your day. But I'm so glad that you started your day with us. It's crazy, Johnny, that we're sitting in our homes talking to people. Yeah. You're all dressed up with nowhere to go. And all of these people are watching from all over the world. We're at the 2 hour and 58 minute mark. When we hit 3 hours, we'll turn into a pumpkin and disappear, and we'll be 2 minutes closer to death. Clock is ticking. As I watch this clock, it is indicating that soon life will be over. Greg Grimm is off to listen to some CC minus Hammer Smash Face for Halloween. Not sure what that means, but it sounds good. Thank you for the great show. Thank you, Greg, for watching. All right, we're just getting down to the final minute. What excitement. And then we could have the... I feel like it's like New Year's Eve. We're counting down. I'm getting a new... Do you have a New Year's gig yet, Johnny?
No. Nothing yet.
Yeah, that's a big thing in Vegas.
I don't think I had one last year either.
Well, you do have one the night before, though. December 30th, Stephen Piercy at the world famous Whiskey A Go Go. Last time, Johnny, we were at the Whiskey A Go Go, and that video's out there right now on the Tour Diaries. You were just a spectator. Now you are on the stage.
Oh, still a spectator, really.
Johnny, come back to Japan with Donnie, please. Yeah, I'd like to see that too.
It'd be great.
Johnny's gonna make that call, right? So actually, as soon as we get off here, he's gonna call Donnie.
What are you doing later?
Where the wheel at? I don't know what that means. You know what that means? I sorry I cut you off. You were acting out how it would talk how you would sound when you called Donnie. What would that call? How would that call go?
What are you doing later? You got any plans?
Want to go to Japan?
Remember in Spinal Tap? Japan. Let to go to Japan.
And what do you think Donnie V would say?
He'd be like, what do you mean?
Where did you get this number?
It's me, you, and Chip. Chip singing.
Chippy.
Negatory. Yeah.
Your little brother Chippy. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Negatory.
Next time we do the show, we're going to talk about Donnie V's recent performances. Johnny's going to evaluate it. And
okay.
We'll talk about all that and more. Thank you guys for watching. Hold on. Diane Carroll's here. Oh, Daniel Carroll. I apologize. Johnny, you're a great guitarist. I just watched a YouTube video of your rat riffs and awesomeness. Listen, let me tell you something for you people at home who are making these videos playing. Johnny got his gig in the Stephen Piercy band because he made it. He auditioned for Rat, but he made that video of his playing. I showed it to Stephen, and Stephen said, hire that man at once. I said, you sure you know this guy? And he said, does he look cool? And I said, well, of course he does. And it worked. So guys, make those videos. But yes, Johnny is a great guitarist.
That's very nice.
And Japan must be awesome, beautiful women.
I like Japan. They got it together out there.
Yeah. I've never been, but
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
okay, this could be the year. This could be the year. We just stroll down, and as long as oh, hold on, I'd love to leave, but we cannot because Indie Cult is here with a super chat. Jason, listen to Mother's Eyes, Johnny and Donnie. Where do I find that?
That's on Strength. I wasn't on that.
Well, no, I know the song, but did you ever play it with Donnie? He's implying that you played it together.
Oh, I don't know. It's
one of my favorites.
Yeah, we never played that song a lot because it was really high to sing.
I watched some of the concerts of you with Chip, and I was always hoping that you would do that one. I enjoy that one.
Yeah, I don't know why we never played. I think I have played it with him before. Meet with me, friend of band, but I don't know if you'll find it online.
Indie Cult, if you can find a copy of that, of him, the two of them together, please send it to me because I do enjoy that one. Johnny, if I came down to Aces and Ales, can I request Mother's Eyes?
No request.
So he just closed the request. Scott X brings up the Queensryche cover. If you have not seen it, go to Johnny's channel. Johnny sings Queen of the Reich. He was much younger. But yeah, he does a great job. Johnny can sing all kinds of stuff. All right, folks, listen, we're past 3 hours, although everyone is so nice. Unless somebody wants to super chat, if somebody sends a super chat, then we'll just have to keep going. We couldn't leave then. Now, could we, Johnny?
Can I tell you?
I got to pay my internet bill. I'm going to get that shut up. Hold on. Craig says, come on, guys. I'm determined to stay to the end, but need to sleep for a couple hours. I get it. You want to be here for the end. D-Star as well. Have a lovely rest of your evening, Jason and Johnny. Yes, well, I'm going to have as lovely an evening as I can after having surgery on my nose, gout in my foot, a meter in my arm, and diabetes. And Johnny's all just all around miserable.
I know what happened.
Johnny, I look forward to seeing you soon. We got to get back out there and have some fun. This is the first time we'll go out where I don't wear bandages like the mummy, and we'll have some good times. And Johnny, all the holiday fun that we have in store, it's very exciting. And all right, everybody, thank you so much, and we will see you again very soon. New interviews, please subscribe, and all that. Have a good night.